the sacks per game. If West Virginia is to have any chance of reaching a BCS bowl, Geno Smith will have to create tonight when plays start breaking down.
If you look at USF stats, it's sort of hard to believe that this is a team that's under 500. They've won one game since the calendar turned to October, but one more chance tonight to become bowl eligible.
This team is confident. It's confident in the talent that it has. Their record is not indicative of how they play football. When you look at USF, this is a football team with 3 close losses on the season. For this game tonight, though, they need their quarterback to be able to play, B.J. Daniels. Reese, you alluded to it just a moment ago. He has a bruised AC joint. He's been working it, trying to get it loose. We watched him in pregame. He threw the ball pretty well. I expect that B.J. Daniels will get the start in this ball game. That's good for the Bulls because with him at quarterback, they're a completely different football team. I think tonight, in addition to Daniels, the USF defense has to do something special, unique, to try to slow down West Virginia's offense.
West Virginia hoping to get a share of the Big East title. South Florida going for a bowl. Kickoff coming from Tampa after this.
Style tailgating. Stone crab for the end of the game.
South Florida style.
ESPN's College Football Primetime. Brought to you by Charles Schwab. Let's talk about the personal attention you and your money deserve. Talk to Chuck. Kellogg's Frosted Flakes cereal. They're great. And Sears.
Ooh, look at that, look at that, look at that, baby! Damn it, damn it.
High above Raymond James Stadium in Tampa, just about set to get started. West Virginia and South Florida in the Big East. Welcome back to Jimmy V Week for Cancer Research on ESPN as we continue our commitment to the V Foundation and Jim Valvano's dream of defeating cancer. We go down on the field now and check in with Jen Brown, who's with Dana Holgerson.
Thanks, Reese. Coach, with the opportunity to clinch tonight's game becomes arguably the biggest game of your brief head coaching career. What did you say to your team in the locker room?
Well, it's not about me. It's about these guys on the sidelines right here. We just told them to start fast. Everybody tries to start fast, but we want to get out there and try to start fast, and then just keep playing no matter what happens.
I know you say it's not about you, and it's about the team, but the opportunity to share in the Big East title with a win tonight, what would that mean to you in the program?
Yeah, that's the biggest thing, which we set that goal at the beginning of the year. And to get to week 12, to have a chance to do it with the victory is something that a lot of people would rather be in our shoes right now.
All right, thanks, Coach.
You got it.
Reese.
All right, Jen, and Dana Holgerson's counterpart is Skip Holtz in his second season at South Florida, a 13-11 record overall. And while this is the first time Holtz and Holgerson have met as head coaches, they are certainly familiar with each other from Skip's days at East Carolina and when Dana Holgerson was the offensive coordinator at Houston. A lot of familiarity on both sides. South Florida defensive coordinator Mark Snyder also of Conference USA when he was the head coach at Marshall. Perfect weather in Tampa tonight, believe it or not, even in South Florida. A little nip in the air at 60 degrees. Crowd on hand trying to see if the Bulls can become bowl eligible and make it to the postseason for the 7th straight time. Corey Smith ready to kick it away for the Mountaineers, and he does, as West Virginia won the toss and deferred to the second half. Lindsey Lamar on the return. Lamar, who is a speedster, gets up to the 24-yard line, and that is where the Bulls will put it in play for the first time tonight. And as we watch, we see the quarterback indeed apparently will be B.J. Daniels, number 7.
You cannot overstate the importance of B.J. Daniels to this USF offense. Because of his ability to run the football, they're more multiple, they're less predictable as an offense. His running ability adds that dimension. It'll be interesting to see with his shoulder injury tonight how often his coaching staff allows him to run it.
Daniels will throw on the first play and taking a shot down the field, and it is broken up as he was looking for A.J. Love. How about the impact players when the Bulls have it?
True freshman Andre Davis has a nickname, the Freak Show, and it's because of his talent. He's got extremely long arms. This offense needs explosive plays in the passing game. Andre Davis has to provide that tonight.
Yeah, and I like Darrell Scott running the football, 72 yards a game. That's 4th in the Big East, and obviously if B.J. can't run, he's got to pick it up.
And Bruce Irvin, a pass rusher extraordinaire for West Virginia in 26 career games. He's got 21.5 sacks, 7.5 of them coming this year. A pure speed rusher off the edge.
That first ball looked pretty good thrown over there to the flat.
It did. However, what didn't look good is that South Florida had an illegal receiver downfield, an eligible man downfield. They had a 5-yard penalty, so it'll be 1st and 15. Scott with his first carry. Darrell Scott, the big fella, has a first down. Scott rumbling up across the 45-yard line, and the transfer from Colorado, who's had an exceptional year, over 700 yards on the season, picks up 27.
Yeah, this is just a bad angle on the defense, and they're not able to contain. Darwin Cook took the wrong angle at the very beginning, lost containment. You see the speed of Scott.
Darrell Scott is known for being a more physical runner, 240 pounds, a guy to wear defenses down, able to find that edge. Tremendous field position now, USF.
Scott picking his way and picks up 1, maybe 2. Doug Rigg making the tackle for the Mountaineers.
A tremendous challenge tonight for this West Virginia defense to stop the run and match the physicality up front of USF's offensive line. It's a very small, very undersized defensive line. They got their work cut out for them.
Yeah, they'll move around a lot. They'll try not to be sitting targets over there for this USF offensive line. If USF can start the ground game, that'll take the pressure off of Daniels having to throw it.
Daniels will throw it quickly to Love. A.J. Love gets into West Virginia territory. We'll bring up a 3rd and short. Juwan Snow on the stop.
This Western Virginia defense, Jeff Castile, the defensive coordinator, it's a 3-3-5. It's a defense that he moves and changes from time to time, but they are aggressive in their mentality.
They bring a smaller body on the field, which allows them to match up with spread offenses, and they can disguise blitz packages.
Scott needing a couple. He uses that big body and lunges forward, and from where the official's spotting it, it looks as if he's right on the line for the first down.
Darrell Scott really provides an added element to this offense with his physical running style. A guy 6'1", 240 pounds. Things don't have to be blocked perfectly in order for him to gain positive yardage. He can break a lot of those arm tackles just because of his sheer size.
I don't want you guys on this side.
Well, Scott was a highly touted running back coming out of high school. Some believe the best in the nation. It didn't work out for him in Colorado. First year of eligibility here. He's been very productive for Skip Holtz. Play action. Daniels has a wide open receiver is Deontay Welch. And Welch is knocked down a little bit short of the first down as we check in with Jen Brown.
Maurice, we saw Daniels make a good completion there. Now, he practiced all week. He said his shoulder felt better as the week progressed. I talked to him right after warm-ups. He said the shoulder feels great. He's going to be good to go. But we have to note that he's wearing a gel protective padding over that shoulder in the AC joint to try to absorb some of the impact should he get hit. But it's not much protection. And he did tell us that he still has some pain when he throws. So something we'll just have to keep an eye on and see how it holds up during the game.
Yeah, Jim, we saw him during warm-up sort of tugging and rubbing that shoulder a few times. This time, BJ has to get rid of it with a man in his face, and he threw it out of bounds. It was Love. Julian Miller was applying the pressure. It'll be 3rd down and 4 for the Bulls, and Love's a little slow getting up.
We've seen BJ Daniels' development over his career. When he first got here, really hyper kind of guy, had a hard time holding on to his emotions. But what a pleasant young man he is today.
You know, I think his greatest development has come in decision-making, not turning the football over. Only 6 interceptions coming into this game, and completions on first down, which is set up 3rd and manageable on this drive.
Sterling Griffin checking into the game late near side, and that's what the flag is going to be about. A.J. Love wasn't able to return to the lineup. They sent Griffin on late, and Skip Holtz was trying to get him closer to the huddle, and the penalty is going to be against USF.
Why didn't he use the timeout? He knew he was in for one.
Jeff McConaughey, our referee, getting everything sorted out before he makes the call.
Illegal substitution offense. The substitution did not get off the sideline prior to the snap. The penalty's declined. 4th down.
It'll be 4th down and 4, and Holtz sends out the punting unit.
Justin Brockhouse-Kahn will punt for the Bulls.
Justin Brockhouse-Kahn averaging 36.5, a little better than that per punt. He has knocked 19 inside the 20, and that's what the Bulls would like for him to do tonight. Von Brown, a single safety back. Brockhouse-Kahn hits it inside the 20. The Bulls will get on it. They'll That's some good defensive field position, and Geno Smith and the Mountaineers will have their first possession when you come back to Tampa.
Enjoy your life, the precious moments you take away all my physical ability. It cannot touch my mind, my heart, and it cannot touch my soul. Don't give up. Don't ever give up.
Help us beat cancer. The V Foundation awards 100% of direct donations and net proceeds of events to fund cancer research. Log on to www.jimmyv.org or call 1-800-4-JIMMY-V to donate. It's a week that's important to all of us at ESPN, and virtually everyone's been touched by that disease. First play from scrimmage of the night for West Virginia. Tavon Austin picks up one, maybe two. It'll be second down and long for the quarterback, Geno Smith.
He's a very talented individual. He has 14 straight games with a touchdown pass. He directs this Dana Holgorsen offense extremely well. Good decision maker.
Already set a school record, more than 3,700 yards through the air. South Florida is going to give him a lot of different looks tonight. The freshman running back, Dustin Garrison, on the ground. It'll be third down and about 4 as we take a look at the impact players when the Mountaineers have it.
Wide receiver Stedman Bailey is a deep threat on this offense. Tremendous chemistry with quarterback Geno Smith. As a result, has set single-season records for receiving and yardage.
And as a freshman, Dustin Garrison had 291 yards in one ball game against Bowling Green earlier this season.
3rd and 5. They marked it at the 19. Eight dropping in coverage. Smith fires, finds a hole in that defense and completes it for the first down. It's his high school teammate Stedman Bailey and West Virginia. Gets his first down.
Here you see the mobility of Geno Smith and the chemistry with his wide receiver Stedman Bailey. Bailey just working the open area in zone coverage, but the time was bought by Geno Smith stepping up in the pocket to deliver that throw.
Quick throw, and again complete to Bailey. He slips one tackle, and Stedman, a nice pickup on first down before he's pushed out by Sam Barrington and exchanging some late season pleasantries with Jarrell Young.
He better do it quick because Dana's going to call a play and it'll be in and snapping the football. Stop the yakking and get lined up, especially the Bulls defense.
Second down and 2. Another quick pass. Austin has it. First down, West Virginia across the 45, and Austin steps out of bounds just short of midfield.
Dana Holgorsen loves throwing swing passes and screens as an extension of the running game, putting the football in the hands of players like Tavon Austin and Stedman Bailey and allowing them to make positive things happen.
Smith has hit his first 3. Back to the ground with Garrison. Garrison into Bull territory. He was hit by Sam Barrington, D.B. Lattimore, but not before another good solid pickup on first down for West Virginia.
Now the Bulls defense, Jesse, you mentioned it in the opening, their defensive line is talented. They play on the other side of the ball. I mean, this team here makes a living in tackles for loss.
A tunnel look to Bailey, and Bailey caught it. He was hit immediately by Lattimore. It'll bring up 3rd and short.
Tremendous challenge for this defense to find the football and react. Defensive coordinator Mark Snyder has been telling his guys all week, vision and break. They're not going to be pattern reading on the outside in the secondary. They've got to find the ball because it comes out of Geno Smith's hands quickly. They got to run and corral some of these shifty wide receivers.
3rd and short, you like their chances. This offense over the season has averaged 6.5 per on 3rd down.
But they are only 40.7%. That's middling in the country. Bulls on 3rd down, pretty good on D. Sean Alston, the bigger back, has it, and Alston plowed ahead, but when the officials are coming across, I think he's going to be just a tad short. We'll see where they mark it, but it looks as if Holgorsen's going to be looking at a 4th down.
I think this really is indicative of the season that they've had. The offensive line just needs to pick it up just a little to match the skill players on this offense.
Sean Alston's the guy you'd expect to carry the football in this situation. 5'11", 221 pounds. His nickname is Allstott. Ryan Clark is also checked in the game. He's 6 feet, 232 pounds, in a 2-back formation here in shotgun.
West Virginia has not been good on fourth down. Just 6 of 15 this year. Is 96 in the country and next to worst in the Big East. So the Mountaineers will take a little time to talk it over. A fourth down coming when you come back.
ESPN's College Football Primetime is served by Applebee's new sizzling entrees. Fresh flavor never sounded so good. And in part by Chevrolet. Go to ESPN.com/Chevrolet and play virtual Saturday selections.
The Christmas lights shining at Ybor City, a historic neighborhood in Tampa that for about half a century is known for cigar factories. See if West Virginia can smoke a celebratory cigar with a Big East championship with a win tonight, but more pressing, converting on this 4th and 1. Geno Smith going to run it himself, and Geno looks ahead. The football came loose as Barrington made the tackle, but there to jump on top of it was Sean Alston, and West Virginia will have enough for the first down.
You know, the fear that you have defensively on this thing is that if you load up too much, Geno Smith might pull the ball, either run it and or throw the football, so you have to be mindful.
How about all of the misdirection on that play with the fake sweep to Tavon Austin and the fake give to Sean Alston? And Geno Smith, tremendous effort stretching out to ensure the conversion on 4th down.
You know what? If he doesn't do that, Jesse, I'm not sure he gets it. Ball batted down. It'll be 2nd and 10. Keith McCaskill getting a hand on it.
There's a giant misconception in Dana Holgerson's offense is that they cannot possess the football. They either score too quickly or they go 3 and out. This is already the 21st drive of the season of 10 plays or more. I mean, this is an offense that can march methodically down the field and score points.
Alston runs through one-arm tackle in the backfield and picks up maybe 3. It'll be 3rd down and 7.
Coming along to your thought there is coming into this game, West Virginia had thrown the ball 460 times and they'd run the ball 344 times. So there's a semblance of balance. It's not just drop back and throw the ball deep or to the flat.
Yeah, they're running at 43% of the time this year. And that's been big. It was big for them in the second half of a huge win last week against Pittsburgh. It's been big early on this game.
Holgerson added a little more running to the repertoire last year at Oklahoma State on 3rd and 7. Smith chased out of the pocket, firing, and it's incomplete. It was in and out of the hands of his intended receiver, J.D. Woods. Kayvon Webster is on the defense, so 4th and 7 coming.
Well, Jeff Castile said, or Mark Snyder said coming into this game, that their goal had to be force West Virginia to attempt 3 points, keep them out of the end zone. It's a very good job. That's above and beyond their goal.
Michael Molinari, usually the punter. This is Corey Smith, who has come in to punt it away. West Virginia's used a couple this year. Evan Landy deep to receive it for South Florida. Landy now getting everybody away from it. So each team has punted, and each team has punted effectively. Smith puts it out of bounds at the 7. That's where South Florida will have it. We continue. Aerial coverage tonight brought to you by DirecTV. If you call yourself a sports fan, you got to get DirecTV. First quarter here, West Virginia and South Florida. 6:29 remaining in the first quarter. This game, which will at least help decide the BCS berth from the Big East. Same can be said Saturday night football between Oklahoma and Oklahoma State in the Big 12. Bedlam as these two bitter rivals get together. Winner gets a berth in a BCS game. Oklahoma State will stake a claim to being in the BCS title game if Brandon Whedon and the Cowboys can snap an 8-game slide in the hands of their arch rivals. Saturday night football, 8 o'clock Eastern time. Part of Dr. Pepper Championship Week. It's on ABC. South Florida has it for the second time tonight. Darrell Scott in the backfield with B.J. Daniels. Daniels fires in and out of the hands of Andre Davis. It'll be 2nd down and 10. And on the subject of the Big 12 game, which will serve as a championship game between Oklahoma and Oklahoma State, Texas A&M, we are getting word, has decided to make a change, and Mike Sherman will not be retained, we're told, for a 5th season at A&M. The Aggies, of course, had multiple second-half meltdowns this year, including the game we saw last Thursday night. The Texas won in thrilling fashion. Word coming from College Station that as A&M heads to the SEC, that Mike Sherman will not be retained for next year. And 2nd and 10, Darryl Scott. Scott's proven to be a load to handle for West Virginia. It'll bring up 3rd and short. No, they're going to give him the first down. He picks up 10 on 2nd and 10.
You know, we just did the Texas A&M game, and we're with Mike Sherman. This will be a double challenge for the Aggies now going into a new conference, the SEC, with a new coaching staff if they indeed do make this move. And kind of surprises me. I think Mike's a good football coach. They're disappointed. He's disappointed in this season.
Scott this time met at the line of scrimmage. You know, Craig, I think it really underscores, because you look at Mike Sherman's track record in the NFL, the success he had at Texas A&M, especially late last season. There's no question he's a good coach. But in this day and age of college football, it is so hard if momentum turns against you in such a dramatic fashion to get it going in the right direction again. And that was what Mike Sherman was up against.
Yep. The recruiting would have killed him. The coach was going against him.
Bruce Irvin checked in, pass rusher extraordinaire, not always great against the run. Darryl Scott is running tough, and Scott gets it up over the nose of the ball over the 25. He'll be a couple yards short of the first down.
I think so far in this game, USF's coaching staff has really protected B.J. Daniels with their play calling. Earlier this year, we saw them in 4 wide receiver sets, in the shotgun, using zone read, using option. Tonight, much more traditional offense. B.J. Daniels spending more time under center. We've seen the I formation. We've seen multiple tight end sets, running the football conventionally. It's a different offense, even though B.J. Daniels is playing tonight.
Yeah, and you can notice the change that West Virginia is doing, too. They've had 4 guys on the defensive line. They're trying to get up there and be bigger against this traditional offense.
Scott was lined up at fullback with Lindsey Lamar behind him, and Darryl pounds it on the inside. You know, we talked about Julian Miller, the standout defensive end for West Virginia, is down on the play. It is a first down. And Miller has been an absolute workhorse on the defense for Jeff Castile. He played early in this season despite having a high ankle sprain, but with the inexperience that West Virginia had on defense, they really needed him to be a warrior, and that's what he's been. Mountaineers, meanwhile, a reminder, playing for a share of the Big East title. Louisville has already clinched a share of the title. The only way the Mountaineers can go to the BCS, probably to the Orange Bowl, is if they have a 3-way tie. So that would mean Cincinnati needs to beat UConn on Saturday. That would almost certainly make West Virginia the highest team and the highest ranked team in the BCS standings and earn them the berth to the Orange Bowl. If it's a 2-way tie with Louisville, they lose that head-to-head, and the Cardinals would go.
This would be a big loss for West Virginia at this point if they were to lose Julian Miller in this game. You just mentioned a very young defensive line. Graduation last year of Chris Neal, Scooter Berry. Julian Miller was really the force up front, keeping everything intact. Coming off his best game of the season with 4 sacks against Pittsburgh. You see here, just kind of gets tangled up and looks like he's in obvious pain on the ground.
I mentioned the ankle problem that Julian had earlier in the season. They're working on it, looks like anyway, the lower left leg. While we have a moment, we'll check in the studio with Wendy Nix. All right, Wendy, and our buddy Craig is calling the Houston Southern Mississippi Conference USA Championship game on Saturday. Got anything to ask Kevin?
Well, I'm going to ask him,
hey, see him tomorrow?
Well, if the reports are accurate, Kevin, are you going up north to Texas A&M a couple of hours, hour and a half, or are you heading west? I mean, someone's a hot guy. 12-0, got a team that has been consistently good. It's nice to have options.
As Julian Miller limps off the field, we'll check on his condition as soon as we can. The standout defensive end who was so good in the backyard brawl, putting pressure especially late in the game on Tino Sunseri, Pittsburgh quarterback, as West Virginia pulled out a 1-point victory. There's really the difference in these two teams. Dana Holgerson told us this on the field before the game. He said there's really not a lot of difference between us and South Florida. We've just found a way to pull a few of these games out, and they haven't. Well, as a result, Mountaineers playing for a potential BCS spot, and the Bulls hoping to become bowl eligible. Off to a good start in the running game is South Florida. Play action. Daniels taking a shot. Out there and open, but overthrown was Andre Davis. Roderick Jenkins was running with him. It'll be 2nd and 10.
I love the play call by Todd Fitch, because if you're going to be more traditional as an offense, you can't be more predictable. You have to throw on 1st down, try and keep the defense guessing.
Well, you know, right now, for sure, Jeff Castille's sitting there thinking, okay, this guy's armed. There's no problem with that. We just saw him launch this thing 50 yards through the air, so we have to defend deeper, and that has to be in the minds of those corners and safeties.
Daniels running it for the first time tonight with that bad shoulder, and BJ can't turn the corner. Chased out of bounds by Terrence Garvin. It'll be 3rd and long.
Earlier this year, the coaching staff wanted BJ Daniels to run the ball between 10 and 12 times a game. That number will drop significantly tonight because of the shoulder injury, and Jeff Castile in West Virginia already understand that.
Yeah, and this is really a part now where Julian Miller not being in the game takes away one of those key rushers on passing situations.
Bruce Irvin, number 11, best pass rusher remaining. Here's Miller on the sideline, his leg elevated. 3rd and 10. Daniels has to throw it off his back foot. He pretty much just threw it away. It'll be 4th down and 10. It was Will Clark applying the pressure for the Mountaineers.
You know, I know that they're trying to take care of and figure out exactly what B.J. Daniels can handle, but they need to take advantage of their defense stopping West Virginia. West Virginia's offense is capable, and they're going to score a bunch of points. And so when you get the ball back after a defensive stop, you better do something with it.
Justin Brockhouse-Kahn, 24-yard punt last time, but he did down it inside the 15-yard line. A little bit of anxiety up front for the Bulls.
Offense. Number 20, 5-yard penalty. 4th down.
Hold your water, boys. Hold your water. Marcus Shaw, the sophomore running back, who's gotten a little more time on offense. A little anxious to get downfield and cover the punt. Brockhouse-Kahn will have more room to work with. A rugby-style punt, no opportunity for a return. Unless, of course, it was that guy standing over there in the sweatshirt and the cap. Punted it right to him. Short punt. We'll see where the official stops running. Ball doesn't even get out of South Florida territory. It'll be inside the 45, and that's where West Virginia will take over. Saturday menu brought to you by Applebee's, a game we alluded to a few moments ago with a hot commodity in Kevin Sumlin, head coach for Houston, the undefeated Cougars, and a hot quarterback, Case Keenum, wrapping up his brilliant career with the last couple of games. You see the other games on the menu, including Bedlam in the ACC championship game.
Imagine Big Brother will show up trying to show Oklahoma State they're still Big Brother. What do you think, Reese?
That's what Bob Stoops, not necessarily in those words, as Dustin Garrison is knocked down at the 40-yard line, but Stoops and the Sooners have alluded to that. They've dominated that series, 82, 16, and 7, I believe, all time against the Cowpokes. They've won 8 in a row, but Oklahoma State believes this is one of the first times in recent memories where you talk to the Cowboys and people close to the program, they think they're the better team. They don't think there's any question they should win the game. It's a rivalry game, you never know, as Garrison takes a huge lick but kept going forward. Jarrell Young hit him, but Garrison, the little guy, picks up the first down.
To be successful in Dana Holgerson's offense, you have to have toughness. And true freshman Dustin Garrison, only 5'8", 175 pounds, but he actually dishes out the punishment over a 210 safety in senior Jarrell Young.
Fake to Garrison. Smith. Open man in the middle, and he missed him. Brown was running in the secondary, and Smith couldn't put it on him.
In addition to the running ability, Quentin Spain, number 67, on that last play, he was inserted because he's a, quote, fresh body at right guard. He did a heck of a job of doing a combo block that allowed Garrison to run that last play.
On 2nd and 10. Austin, a quick screen. He nudges it inside the 25-yard line. He needs to get down to the 21 for the first down. Michael Linares on the stop.
It's going to be difficult for USF not to get frustrated tonight. You have to expect West Virginia to get their yards, give them completions, but they got to play big when the field shrinks. Right now, huge down.
Garrison on the ground. hunting and pecking his way. He's going to be stopped short of the first down. It'll bring up another 4th down, it looks like, though Tavon Austin is signaling first down. I believe the men in stripes beg to differ.
This South Florida defense has played with their backs against the wall so often here in recent weeks. Bad punting, like we just saw a few moments ago. The offense has turned the football over in their own end, and as a result, this South Florida defense has had to play big in sudden change situations in their own end.
And Holgerson's decided to try to take the points as Tyler Bittencourt has come on to attempt the field goal. Play clock getting on him, a 38-yard attempt. Snap is on time, and the kick hits the upright. Another stop for the Bulls defense in the early going.
In addition to your comment that you're making there just a moment ago about this Bulls defense, in 2 of their losses, their defense didn't even give up a touchdown. Yeah. I mean, this is a football team that has a good, talented group over there, and this is one of those that was a win already for Mark Snyder because they had forced an attempt at 3.
Now you have to capitalize on that now. Offense back on the field, find a way to generate momentum. You're not going to score points. You have to change the field position battle in this game. They must find a drive.
Guys, I'm not so sure West Virginia wouldn't have been well served to use a timeout there. I mean, it's the second half I can understand. You want to save it for the end. Continue the thought in a moment. Hitting the backfield is Demetrius Murray. It'll be 2nd and long. It was a little bit of a fire drill coming out. It looked as if Bittencourt was still trying to get his shoe on properly. The play clock was on top of them. Already used one in the first quarter, but still maybe a little calmness right there with the timeout would have served West Virginia well there. As it is, it serves the Bulls to get the stop, but now looking at a 2nd and 12. Murray goes forward this time, but not for much. It'll be 3rd and long. Bruce Irvin among the Mountaineers on the stop.
It's so important that South Florida is able to generate positive yards on 1st and 2nd down because, Craig, they're not a good 3rd down passing team. We've seen that so far early, Tim.
And we've also seen West Virginia's defense putting 7 and 8 really tight to the line of scrimmage. They must have a good feel for the plays that are about to be called, and so they're bunching up against that run.
Evan Landy, top of the screen in the slot at tight end. He's got the best hands. He's now coming back in motion. Looks like to help out with a block.
Irvin was out there quickly. BJ had to get rid of it, and Murray caught it and fell down. And as the quarter comes to a close, so too will that South Florida possession. Bulls will punt it on the first play of the 2nd quarter when you come back to Tampa. Has anybody checked that Buccaneers ship to see if Chris Berman's up there ready to fire a cannon? In Raymond James Stadium in Tampa, home of the Buccaneers and home of the USF Bulls, tonight taking on West Virginia as we get set to start the 2nd quarter of this Big East game with championship implications for the Mountaineers. West Virginia victory gives them a share of the Big East title. South Florida needs a win to become bowl eligible. Maikon Bonani on the punt, and it's blocked. West Virginia blocks the rugby-style punt, and the Mountaineers are set up right on the doorstep.
One reason I hate these rugby-style punts, they take longer to develop. It takes a longer time for punters to get it off, and it's always a much lower trajectory when these punters get rid of it. It's like a line drive. It's like you hit it with a 3-iron, barely off the ground.
And look at your 3-man wall of protection. You've got 5 coming at that. It's a mobile. It's moving. You don't know where that release point from the punter's foot's going to be. I've never liked it. I'm glad I played in the old days when we back there and you punted the football on time and just got it out of there.
Willie Millhouse blocked it. Ricky Kovacs recovered it, and now from the 5. Geno Smith to the end zone and knocked away. An outstanding defensive play by Quentin Washington.
We talked about South Florida having to play big in sudden change situations. Here they are with their back against the wall. Quentin Washington, tremendous job on the coverage. He needs to have a big game. He got picked on early and often last week in a loss against Louisville.
This is the number 5 red zone touchdown defense in the country, and South Florida's up against it, and now it's 3rd and goal for the Mountaineers.
Yeah, but one thing that has been good for West Virginia this year is in the red zone. They've had 19 rushing touchdowns, 14 by the air, and so it is a battle of the bests in the red zone right now.
A true freshman, Alkino Watson right there, getting the big stop. He leads all true freshmen in the nation in tackles for loss. Diamond formation now. We see this a lot at Oklahoma State. Down in the red zone.
Where Holgorsen was before this year. The give to Tavon Austin. And he stopped short. It'll be 4th and goal.
I call it the pistol bone, the diamond, whatever you wanted to call it. It puts pressure on the defense because of the balance it forces them to have. They can't get an edge to where you're going with, and at the snap of the ball, it forces a defense to get to the football with pursuit if they're going to stop the runner.
Sean Alston has entered the game. The big bruiser deep down inside a goal line right behind Geno Smith.
And Ryan Clark also in front of him in the backfield to his left. The movement up front, there's a little scuffling going on. South Florida got a great push. I don't know if it was because of the whistle or not, and it is a false start. So here comes the field goal unit.
False start. Offense, number 57. 5-yard penalty. 4th down.
What a momentum changer, and what a great job by Mark Snyder's defense. You'll recall the first game of the season against Notre Dame. Notre Dame had 3 trips to the 5 or closer against South Florida and got stoned. Goose egg, nothing. Now Bittencourt, who missed from 38, tries it from 23, and after the blocked punt, West Virginia salvages 3 points out of it, and they take the lead. And there's Snyder, along with Skip Holtz, fired up about that defensive stand by the men in green. Mike Bonani's first punt attempt was not a pleasant one for him, but the defense rises up to help him out. Celebrating its 7th year sponsoring the Good Hands Field Goal Nets, Allstate makes contributions to participating universities' general scholarship funds for each field goal and extra point kick. To date, Allstate has contributed more than $2.5 million in scholarship money. I wish somebody would donate for every time somebody botches a rugby kick. Be getting rich now.
It's not a fan.
No,
at all.
I saw a punt blocked last week in Clemson, South Carolina game. Guy blocked it with his ankle. I mean, you know.
They're snake killers.
Even the Bulls a while ago, their rugby guy. He kicked it 15, 20 yards out of bounds.
Not that we have opinions up here or anything.
No, we watch a lot of football.
Yeah. Corey Smith drives it back to Marcus Shaw. Shaw had an alley for a moment. Stays on his feet after a big hit, and he might have been better off going down. Lost yardage. We do have a flag down on the field. And Big East crew, Jeff McConaughey.
During the return. Personal foul. Face mask. Kicking team. Number 42. 15-yard penalty from the end of return. First down.
And face mask called against West Virginia, so a return that had wound up inside South Florida's own 20. The ball will now be moved out to the 34-yard line, and that is where the Bulls will take over.
Yeah, you know what? West Virginia right now is not playing a perfect game for sure. And they do have the lead. South Florida better wake up and take advantage of this slow start by their offense.
Murray in the backfield. Demetrius Murray gets up across 35, picks up 3, maybe 3.5 on first down.
You know, the margin of error for USF has been so small this year, and they're a very young team. Not very many seniors on this football team, and because of that, the youth, they've made a lot of mistakes this year to lose games, whether it's 3 blown coverages to against Louisville last week, interceptions in overtime to lose to Rutgers. They have to capitalize on those opportunities you're talking about, Craig.
We saw Julian Miller, who was injured earlier, has returned for West Virginia as B.J. Daniels buys some time. And B.J. with that bad shoulder is going to trot out of bounds. It'll be third down. Jen, what do you have on Julian Miller?
Well, he did re-injure that high ankle sprain in that left ankle that kept him out of all of preseason. Now they taped him up. He's on the sidelines, running up and down. We know he's in the game now. They say he's good to go. He looked like he was in a bit of pain, had some trouble getting the sock and the shoe back over all the taping. But it's good news for them if he's good, because obviously he was Big East Defensive Player of the Week the last 2 weeks, so they need him.
Yeah, but they need him also, Jen, to be able to plant that foot in the ground and have power to take on that offensive line. We'll watch that.
And Miller's on the inside in his pass rushing defense, and Daniels tried to get it to Love. He was covered very well by Broderick Jenkins, and South Florida will have to punt.
Broderick Jenkins, a guy that has really come on for this West Virginia defense here in recent weeks. You know, Pat Miller got the start the first 9 games of the year. Broderick Jenkins got inserted 2 weeks ago against Cincinnati. He's been lights out. He's locked that position down. He's also locked that island down outside.
Brockhouse Khan returns to punt after Bonani's rugby attempt was not blocked. And that one was almost blocked conventionally. Brockhouse Khan was a little slow getting that out of there. Von Brown makes the fair catch inside the 30.
I think, according to the official, that ball was tipped even on that rush.
Right over the top. It was Millhouse again who got the first one. He almost had his second block punt of the night.
ESPN's College Football Primetime, brought to you by Mercedes-Benz. Experience truly great engineering today at your authorized dealer. And Allstate. Shop less, get more. Make one call to an Allstate agent.
Busch Gardens in Tampa Bay, one of the great tourist attractions. African-themed animal park. Opened back in 1959 as an admission-free hospitality facility. Last year, over 4 million people came in to check out Busch Gardens. We're in 3D tonight, in addition to high definition. The South Florida Bulls, 3 points. As always, he scored in 3D. That South Florida defense rises up again. Garrison stopped for no gain.
You know, Geno Smith is trying to develop a chemistry with head coach Dana Holgorsen, and for a guy that's 6th in the nation in passing yards and has only thrown 5 picks, you think he's playing pretty well. Dana Holgorsen told us yesterday he's playing just above average, and it's because Geno Smith doesn't yet fully understand what is expected of him on each and every snap. That chemistry is something that gets built over time.
Smith should have been picked off, and he was not. Kayvon Webster, who has a couple of interceptions this season, and it read perfectly and just couldn't hold it.
Tavon Austin's coming in motion. He's got to get quick to the flat. Watch him come across the screen to hold the corner in the flat. Instead, the corner's able to fall right back off into that play and should have been an interception.
Kayvon Webster would have liked to have that play back. He played Little League football with Geno Smith. He had an opportunity to pick one of his best buddies off right there.
Smith sets up the screen to Garrison. Garrison slips a couple and got a lot closer to the first down than he had a right to. In fact, the way the officials are walking in, Garrison might have picked it up.
I said coming into this game as one of the impact players, Garrison rushed for 291 yards earlier this season against Bowling Green. True freshman.
It's the most of any player in the FBS this year.
Yeah, I mean, this guy can take the rock and run it.
Dana Holgorsen is screening USF to death right now. We've seen bubble screens, we've seen slip screens, we've seen conventional screens out of the backfield.
Garrison got it forward for maybe half a yard.
Yeah, but what we're seeing here on first down, West Virginia is not successful, and I think USF is reading and understands formations, because right before the snap of the ball, they're running an 8th man up into that box to stuff the run.
The strength of USF's defense is its defensive line, particularly inside. When you look at Corey Porkchop Grissom and Keith McCaskill, they got a lot of weight inside to anchor against those bodies, and they're shutting it down.
Smith throwing underneath to Tavon Austin. Tavon's slippery, and he gets away from one, but not the second guy. Webster let the interception go through his hands, did not let Austin go through his hands.
South Florida's defense doing a phenomenal job tonight, though, tackling in open space, and that was big for defensive coordinator Mark Snyder. No yards after the catch for all these dynamic playmakers on the perimeter of the field.
Sean Austin. They keep it on the ground on 3rd and 9, and they didn't fool the South Florida defense. It'll be a punting situation for West Virginia.
The Bulls defense had 6 on the line of scrimmage. 1 dropped out. The other 5 came in, and this invited the run, and they did a nice job again of bailing out for special teams. Their offense being inept. They got to get it going if they're going to take advantage of this West Virginia offense being down right now.
Corey Smith to punt it away to that man, Evan Landy. Landy, not necessarily the speediest or shiftiest guy as a punt returner, but he's got very sure hands. Former quarterback, former wide receiver, now playing mostly tight end. And Corey Smith, this punting exhibition is not exactly going to be on the Ray Guy Wall of Fame here.
Or maybe even someone in the newer era.
Another shank punt.
I know who Ray Guy is.
Tom Tupa. Let's take a look at tonight's intelligent move brought to you by Mercedes.
Came on a punt block earlier in the game, really led to the only points for West Virginia so far. Rugby-style punt gets blocked, but give USF's defense a lot of credit because they bowed up, held West Virginia only to a field goal in a drastic sudden change situation.
Yeah, okay. I think now USF's got to get into these screens on the outside. They got to somehow see if West Virginia's defense will run to the football. They got to get the ball in space to some playmakers.
1st and 10 from their own 38. Darrell Scott has returned. Scott picks up maybe 1. Najee Good on the stop.
It's a West Virginia defense that's playing very confidently right now. In their last 2 games, both must-win games. This defense only allowed 21 points against Cincinnati, allowed only 20 points against Pittsburgh. They believe in their scheme and what they're doing, and it looks like that confidence really showing out so far early in this one.
Bruce Irvin is after Daniels. They're trying to set up a screen. BJ had to get rid of it. Terrence Garvin almost intercepted it. It'll be 3rd down and 9.
Very interesting defense here, what they did. 3 rushed, and there were 2 who kind of lingered in the middle. Watch the lingering over on the right side of the offensive line. 3 are going to come. 2 linebackers are looking. 1 blitzes as soon as he sees the running back hanging around for blocking.
It's not good that South Florida has Mark Popek, their left tackle, one-on-one against Bruce Irvin. They need to help him with chips or with a tight end.
One-on-one against Irvin again. Each time he holds it out long enough, but it's intercepted. Pat Miller coming back down the sideline. He's got help. Touchdown, West Virginia. B.J. Daniels throws his 7th interception of the year, and it gives West Virginia its first score.
You know, youth can really bite you when it comes to wide receivers outside. This just an overthrow by B.J. Daniels. He's got Evan Landy, his tight end, trying to run a corner route. The ball is overthrown. Nice job by Pat Miller high-pointing the football. And he had a convoy in front of him down the sidelines.
An opportunity to make a play, and the number 6 for West Virginia did it. Number 6 for South Florida dropped an interception. And the Mountaineers, who were trying to get a share of the Big East title tonight, jumped on top 9-0. Tyler Bittenkurt for the extra point, and West Virginia behind Pat Miller's 52-yard interception return has jumped on top 10-0, and perhaps with that interception and touchdown run, the Mountaineers a little closer to a BCS bowl. BJ has some work to do. Dr. Pepper Championship Week continues on Saturday. It'll start at noon on ABC with the Conference USA Championship game, Houston and Southern Mississippi. If the Cougars win the game, they will have a spot in a BCS game. UConn and Cincinnati, the Bearcats hoping for a West Virginia loss tonight so they can represent the Big East in a BCS game. Virginia Tech and Clemson, the ACC title game. Oklahoma and Oklahoma State will play to be the Big 12 representative in the BCS. If Oklahoma State wins, they'll win it outright. If Oklahoma wins, there will be a three-way tie with Kansas State, but the Sooners would win the tiebreaker. So after the pick six by Pat Miller, Corey Smith drives Lindsey Lamar into the end zone, and the Bulls will take it on their own 20-yard line. Here's our College Football Awards Spotlight, brought to you by the Home Depot. The Davey O'Brien National Quarterback Award will be handed out during the ESPNU Awards Show, December 8th, 9 o'clock Eastern Time. Well, these three guys have had fabulous years. Case Keenum has virtually every career passing record you can imagine. Robert Griffin III has been terrific. And Andrew Luck, I think many regard as virtually everyone is the best pro prospect among quarterbacks. And he's led Stanford to back-to-back 11-win seasons. Stanford had never won 11 games before Luck wound up on the farm. All three of those guys deserving of consideration for Davey O'Brien. Darrell Scott knocked down by Julian Miller. It'll be 2nd and 11.
And I know the Bulls right now are going to the line of scrimmage trying to have success running the ball in the first down. Look at the number of bodies from West Virginia that are up there. I mean, they are tight to the line of scrimmage. They're going to have to loosen them up, Jesse.
This offensive coordinator, Todd Fitch, he's got to get B.J. Daniels in a rhythm. He's only 3 of 11 right now. There's a lot of cushion on the outside of the field with these wide receivers. Spit it out, easy throw.
Draw to Scott. Gets across the 25. He'll be about 4 yards short at first.
And you know what? And you're saying that as a veteran quarterback. I mean, it just makes sense. The high percentage throws to the flat, get it in their hands.
You know, and by giving your quarterback easy completions, you help with his confidence and reestablish that, particularly after throwing a pick six.
And it helps players in the huddle, too. You get confident, we get confident, everybody starts having fun.
On 3rd down. Pitch. Lindsey Lamar, the speedster. Slipped the tackle. Lamar, a tremendous run. Get up close to midfield to be marked out of bounds. Just short of midfield at about the 48.
Lindsey Lamar is tremendous in the open field, was a running back in high school, and last year's Big East Special Teams Player of the Year after returning 2 kicks for touchdowns. You see his ability to run in the open field.
Absolutely. 100% comes from that punt return ability and open space.
And the quick pass. Did I mention a few moments ago how sure-handed Evan Landy is?
I mentioned it earlier in the telecast also.
Okay, 2nd and 10.
And you know he's disappointed because he's a former quarterback who last year was asked to go to wide receiver, and then he became a full-time tight end this season. He knows, man, give me the chance, and he just messed it up.
But again, this offense can't get behind the sticks now. This defense feeling it. They're confident coming off a pick six. Again, not a good 3rd down passing team is USF. They got to find a way to generate at least 4 yards here.
Daniels, almost picked off again, and if Jared Barber had been able to hold on, he might have scored with it. 3rd and 10, South Florida really fortunate that one didn't go the other way.
As a quarterback, you cannot float check down throws over the middle of the field, and in fairness, running backs can't drift when the ball's coming at them also here. You got to put that with some zip and put it on your running back's body.
Luke Kuechly at Boston College, that's exactly how he plays. That true freshman Barber, just reading the quarterback size, you got to move it around.
On 3rd and 10, Daniels takes a shot into triple coverage. And did I mention Landy has really good hands?
I mentioned it also earlier in the telecast.
Well, then go ahead, Smarty Pants. You take this one.
This is the exact same route B.J. Daniels just threw the interception on the previous series. A lot of these throws to the perimeter are right now being contested. You see 3 Navy helmets around that football, but the former quarterback going up using his big frame and hauling it in.
After picking up 20 on 3rd and 10, another former quarterback, Victor Mark, has it. Victor Mark driving into the red zone. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Bulls.
And it's a great block on the outside. This is how you execute the play. You call the screen on the outside. You get the blocking from your teammates. Andre Davis, the true freshman, doing a nice job with his 6'1", 200-pound body, blocking out, allowing the run.
This offense finally starting to resemble what we saw earlier this season when they put up 70 points against FAMU.
Darryl Scott. And a flag is coming out and going into the area where you often see holding called, and that's the initial indication.
Holding. Offense. Number 79. 10-yard penalty. First down.
That is Chaz Hine. Hine is a finalist for the Campbell Trophy, which is the academic Heisman. He's a National Scholar Athlete, but that time.
Well, I don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure that's a hold. I'm not so certain of that.
Shaq Roll was the guy who was working on, and Chaz Hine, who's been known to sing opera to his teammates. Perhaps just squawking about that call, but it's 1st and 19. Daniels, shovel pass. Darryl Scott gets it down to the 20, and as you get down into the red zone, here's Chaz Hine.
But you know you're not dreaming, Signore. Excuse me, but you'll see back in old Napoli that's amore.
Hine is a renaissance man. 2nd and long. Daniels throwing for the end zone. Did he stay in bounds? No, they rule him out of bounds. It was Sterling Griffin.
But at least you get the sense now that B.J. Daniels is throwing the ball to spots on the field, not just areas where he's hoping. This ball here, that's a touch.
Well, no, he doesn't have it yet.
He does. Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know if that left elbow didn't hit right before he got down, bobbling it. Looks like he's got it right there. It depends on what part of his body touched.
Yep.
I think that left elbow may be down before. I think that might be a catch.
He's got it there. Pass is under review.
Is there a bobble after he hit the ground? Did he have possession all the way through?
I think a couple things. First, I think the officials got it right, and I'm not sure there's enough video evidence to overturn it. It has to be indisputable. It's a great effort by Sterling Griffin for sure.
It's a big boost for this offense, just getting Sterling Griffin back here on the field as you take another look. Missed last season with an ankle injury, came back this year, was on pace to break the single-season record here for receptions and receiving yards, and then re-injured his ankle against Cincinnati late October. They weren't sure if he was even going to be able to play tonight, and already coming in this game making a positive impact.
Well, he did a good job getting the foot down, but when he did, he didn't have control of the ball, and it appeared the elbow and derriere hit at about the same time.
Okay, let's go back to the previous series, the pick 6 by B.J. Daniels. He went straight to the sidelines, got over there. Jesse and Reese, we were standing here watching on the sidelines while the defense was on the field, got a football and kept throwing and throwing and throwing. And he's having success on this series. He got that arm. Maybe he just finally said, hey, to heck with it. I'm going to use my arm and I'm going to throw it to where I'm supposed to throw it.
Yeah, I don't think his shoulder injury has been affecting his throwing tonight. He's been throwing it with tremendous velocity. That interception, I think we all agree, was just a missed throw, but showing you that
After
leadership.
Review, the receiver was able to get 1 foot in bound.
Wow. I think they missed it. I don't think he had control of the ball, but South Florida will take it. Let's have another look at this, guys.
Well, it has to be indisputable video evidence to overturn the call on the field, which was an incomplete pass. I guess at this point right here, they're saying something touched after that.
Boys, they missed that.
Oh, man.
He said the foot. The foot was down, but you saw the ball. There was air in between.
Yep.
But the 20-yard touchdown catch for Sterling Griffin is a big momentum booster for South Florida. And with the Bonani extra point, the Bulls have energized the crowd. And now, South Florida needing a victory to become bowl eligible. They get a touchdown pass from B.J. Daniels. And it's a 10-7 game late in the first half in Tampa. Little energy at Raymond James Stadium in South Florida. Bounced back nicely from the pick 6 thrown by B.J. Daniels. Marched it down the field and got a 20-yard, somewhat controversial touchdown pass from Daniels to Sterling Griffin. The play overturned after the officials upstairs looked at it, and the Bulls taking things by the horns, so to speak, and getting back in this game at 10-7. And set to kick it away and give Geno Smith ball back. Marvin Kloss is the kickoff specialist for the Bulls as they use that bunched up kickoff coverage. And it'll drive Austin back deep. Tavon tries to squirt out of there, but he'll be stopped just short of the 30-yard line. You will find out who will play for the national championship Sunday night, 8:15 Eastern Time on the BCS Selection Show. Craig Kirk, host of our analysts, will join me on the BCS Selection Show at 8:15 Eastern Time on Sunday night. That will be followed by the College Football Bowl Selection Special as we go over all of the matchups for the bowl season, which is rapidly approaching. 8:15 Sunday night on ESPN, followed at 9 o'clock by the Bowl Selection Special. And that BCS Countdown Show, the final one of the season, could have some drama as we find out who will play for the title against LSU. Geno Smith makes it complete to J.D. Woods.
I mentioned earlier Geno Smith and Dana Holgorsen trying to find a chemistry. 2 drives ago, after West Virginia was forced to settle for a field goal, you saw a discussion here between Dana Holgorsen and Geno Smith, upset with his young quarterback. You know, these relationships and the chemistry takes time. Dana Holgorsen cannot wait for this offseason coming up so that he can coach up Geno Smith. He thinks he's going to have a huge year next season.
On 2nd and 3, a minimal gain by Garrison. It'll be 3rd and short.
I've known Dana a long time. He coached Adam back his freshman year at Texas Tech, so I followed him. And his development, he really has control of what he's trying to accomplish on the sidelines. Very impressive what he's doing with his coaching and handling of quarterbacks.
We got a quick snap and the throw out to Austin, and a flag came in right at the end of the play. A little jawing going on between the two sides.
Holding. Offense. Number 4. Penalty decline. With that.
Devon Brown was called for the hold, and the play didn't give him a first down anyway. Only a pickup of 1 on the quick snap swing pass, and Holgorsen sends the punt unit back out.
You see the frustration on Dana Holgorsen's face, trying to pick up the tempo on that last play. Looked as if he had USF caught off guard. Guys weren't lined up in time, still unable to convert that big 3rd down.
They rallied to the ball quickly, did the Bulls, and Corey Smith's on to punt to Evan Landy. Little rugby look, a line drive punt that bounces well short and batted back toward the goal line, and they'll throw the beanbag down where it was initially touched by West Virginia. The crowd's reacting, but the officials are all over this. They'll mark it at the 29-yard line.
Well, so now you're going to make up with them, huh?
It's not the replay, guys. I'm still mad at them. No, I'm not mad at them. I just disagree with them. Let's take a look at this week's BCS standings, brought to you by Allstate. LSU plays in the SEC championship game against Georgia. I believe most think, win or lose, the Tigers will play for the BCS title. Alabama in the clubhouse. Most of our experts believing that the Tide's in the best position to get a rematch against LSU, but Oklahoma State's going to try to make its case against Oklahoma in Bedlam on Saturday night and hope that they can get enough voters to change their minds, because Oklahoma State almost certainly is going to move back to 2 in the computer rankings, assuming an LSU win, possibly number 1 if LSU were to lose. But the question will be the human voters. How will the human vote go? Right now, the Crimson Tide has a significant edge in that regard. 2nd down and 10 for B.J. Daniels, and Daniels hit his man right in the hands and bounced away. The freak show, Andre Davis, the freshman, couldn't hold it.
I think LSU plays win or lose for the national championship. How about you?
I agree. Well, they've beaten 3 teams that at the time were ranked in the top 3. And even if they lost to Georgia, it's a better quality loss than anything Oklahoma State, Stanford, or Virginia Tech have, or any other one lost team. The exception, of course, of Alabama.
Right.
3rd down and 10. Daniels holding it, pump, fires it, and right on the money again, and another drop, this time by Deontay Welch. So 2 well-thrown balls and 2 drops for the Bulls.
All right, now this is buying time with a fake pump for your receivers to get open. They've got to finish these plays off. I was looking for a fake screen pump and go, but something to get the receivers deeper beyond the secondary.
Youth at wide receiver has killed USF here in recent weeks. They were young at the start of the year, but because of injuries, they've had to start a true freshman in Andre Davis and another freshman, Deontay Welsh. Big drops on that possession.
Rockhouse Khan got it away. Von Brown makes the fair catch right at his 34-yard line, and with 3:08 to go in the first half, we'll say hello to Wendy Nix in the studio.
Reese, thank you. Coming up in the Walmart halftime report, coaches on the move will tell you who's been fired and reportedly who'll be hired. We'll preview the conference championships, and Dr. Lou takes a look at making the right choice. We hope you'll choose to be with us at the half.
That we will, Wendy. Skip Holtz, Lou's son. We see Andre Davis, a freshman, perhaps a little upset after the drop pass, and Skip over trying to calm down the young wide receiver.
His mother, Mrs. Holtz, was here in the house, visited us in the booth before the game.
I feel comfortable in saying it was Lou's better half. Kayvon Austin on the end around. Loses a couple, you know, with it being Jimmy V week. Mrs. Holtz, Beth Holtz, a throat cancer survivor and a wonderful, wonderful woman. We certainly love Lou, but there is a special place in heaven for Beth Holtz, trust me.
How'd you know that, Reese?
No. Me too. I don't know we have Lou. I got Mark on Saturdays too.
I think you're earning a special place.
Hey, you guys are no picnic. It's Geno Smith. Right down the middle of Tyler Urban for the first down.
Oh, this is a well-thrown ball. What a touch pass. I've always said that Geno Smith had every throw in the bag. The hard balls, the soft balls, right over a linebacker. That's just a beautifully thrown football.
With just over 2 minutes to play in the half. West Virginia near midfield. Geno got a lot of room to run. First down. And he gets out of bounds. The 32-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Mountaineers with 2:05 to play in the half.
Geno Smith has tremendous athleticism, but he's actually running the football less this year in Dana Holgerson's offense than he did a year ago. But you see what he can do. Getting outside, adding an added dimension. A little bit of trash talk after that run. There's a great rivalry between these two Big East schools we've seen over the last several years.
That was a career-long 20-yard run for Geno Smith. Back on the ground to Sean Alston, and the big back powers it inside the 30 before D.D. Lattimore finally gets him down.
Yeah, we have seen this USF team in the past go in and disappoint West Virginia with an upset. We've seen it the other way around. I mean, when they get together, there's no question that they play competitive.
A lot of these players are familiar with one another. 20 guys on West Virginia are from the state of Florida. They've played alongside each other or against each other in high school. We've seen Kayvon Webster already drop a pick from one of his best buddies, Geno Smith. So they're going to see each other this offseason. There's going to be a lot of talking going on. A lot on the line tonight.
Yeah, single coverage down here to the bottom. Safety's coming over to help.
Geno kept it on the ground. Garrison, freshman. We stopped short of the first downs. We head toward a minute to play in the first half. 3rd and about 2 looking at the Mountaineers. Call it 1.
Don't you feel like that both teams have kind of woken up here in the last 5 minutes of this football game, offensively, defensively?
How big is this for West Virginia to try to make this a 10-point game again here right before half?
Clock still running. Geno gonna run it. Geno hitting the backfield. He's not going to get it. 4th down coming. Another stop by Mark Snyder's defense. Michael Linares, number 55. And timeout is called by South Florida. Now West Virginia, we assume, will try a field goal to try to add to their lead before the half. Tyler Bittenkurt has come on to attempt a 42-yard field goal. Bittenkurt is 1 for 2 on the night. He hit the upright from 38. He made a 23-yarder. He's long on the season, 45. Has had a couple blocked. Bittenkurt sends it on its way, and it is perfect, and West Virginia stretches its lead to 6 with 22 seconds remaining in the first half. We expect to have a very close second half, and that would be right in keeping with this rivalry, which has started in 2005 when South Florida came into the Big East. Big George Selvey had that fumble return for a touchdown, and Matt Grothe to Ian Randolph as South Florida handed West Virginia's first home loss in 9 games. See, in 2007, South Florida beat 5th-ranked West Virginia 21-13. And then in 2009, West Virginia again came in here ranked, and they fell 30-19. West Virginia fans hoping to spend a little time at Disney World, getting most of those things. The question is going to be, will they make it to a BCS game? Doesn't yet have the win over South Florida, but we told you at the top of the show and reiterated a couple of times, West Virginia can get a share of the Big East simply by winning tonight. They cannot lock up a spot as the Big East representative in the BCS until the Cincinnati-UConn game is played on Saturday, and they need Cincinnati to win. South Florida, on the other hand, trying to get the 6 wins and become bowl eligible. Shaw has it just short of his goal line. Marcus Shaw gets it out to the 20. 15 seconds remaining in the first half. One would assume. And Skip Holtz will run out the clock. Aerial coverage brought to you by DirecTV. If you call yourself a sports fan, you got to get DirecTV. Beautiful night for football in Tampa. Some great shots of Raymond James Stadium, courtesy of the DirecTV blimp. And good vantage point from the Buccaneers ship, which is in the end zone to our left. The end zone is behind the goalpost where Tyler Bittencourt just made the field goal. B.J. Daniels going to throw it. It's a quick completion out in the flat to Sterling Griffin. Keep that out of bounds.
Keep that shoulder warmed up and a little rhythm going with him right there. And Skip called the timeout a while ago so that in case they did miss, he'd have saved himself some yards.
South Florida's defense has kept them in this game. Because of them, this is still only a 1-possession game right now. They have to feel good about that heading in at halftime.
Daniels, another completion. Griffin has it again. He stops the clock with 7 seconds to go.
I think we're in for a good second half, though, based off the last several minutes of this quarter and how the teams are playing and the rhythm. BJ in particular.
It's going to be big for West Virginia to try and maintain momentum here in the second half after kicking a field goal. They're going to get it first in the second half.
Hey, Daniel's going to go ahead and load up. He got Landy right in the middle of the field, but now will he get down in time to stop the clock? And I think they're calling it the half.
Wow.
Landy very wisely knew he couldn't score, tried to get down quickly in order to preserve one more play for South Florida.
That's the end of the first half.
Yeah, but that sure is a positive sign right there of that arm strength.
13-7 as we head to halftime. Jen Brown with Skip Holtz.
Thanks, Reese. Coach, a couple of big drops, a block punt, a pick 6. How do you clean things up?
Well, I mean, there's 10 points. You know, I think the defense is playing their tails off, and offensively, we just, you know, we got to get back into a rhythm. We started a little bit early, but we've had a couple penalties with the receivers on the ball, off the ball. Just some little things, but some things I think we can definitely clean up. You know, it's not easy to spot a team like this 10 points when you're going down 13-7 at half.
You talk about getting into a rhythm on offense. B.J. Daniels, we know he came in with that shoulder injury. How do you assess his play and how he's doing?
You know what? I think he's playing well from a physical standpoint, but, you know, mentally it's certainly shown a little bit, missing a whole week of practice. I think he's playing great. I think he's doing some great things considering what he's been through for the last 2 weeks.
All right, thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Reese.
All right, Jen, so Skip Holtz's team down 13-7 at the half. The only touchdown for West Virginia came courtesy of its defense and Pat Miller. 13-7 at the break. Let's join Mark May, Skip Holtz's father, and Wendy Nix for the Walmart Halftime Report.
Reese, thank you very much. Just 6 points separating these two teams, South Florida and West Virginia. Plenty to play for both teams in the second half. And Jesse Palmer stole our thunder, Mark May, when he said this South Florida defense has done its job, really only allowed 3 points.
They definitely have, and their defensive coordinator, Mark Snyder, has to be proud of this bunch. They've given up just under 140 yards in the first half and 15-yard line, and the defense held West Virginia's offense to just 3 points. That was a huge series.
And it has to be disappointing for South Florida's offense. They don't run the ball very consistently, and they have all freshman receivers. They had some very talented upper-class receivers who are lost for the year, and they're playing with true freshmen. It shows.
Again, South Florida needing a win to become bowl eligible.
We're going to fund research. We're going to find cures. We're going to cut into Cancer's lead. We're going to get to where we tie it, then we're beating it, and then, at the end of the game, we win. And that's really the way Jimmy looked at it. He knew it was a long game, but he knew he was going to win. And that's the cool thing about it.
Coach K, just one of many who've made the choice to join the fight against cancer. Tonight, in Dr. Lou's final segment of the season, we take a closer look at the power of positive choices.
Dr. Lou, Dr. Lou, that's Dr. Lou, Dr. Lou, Dr. Lou. The doctor will see you now.
The one thing successful football teams have in common with successful people is they make good choices. Choices have consequences, and they also decide whether you're going to succeed or whether you're going to fail. We have so many wonderful powers as human beings. We can love, think, create, imagine, and plan. But the greatest power we have is the power to choose. We choose whether we're going to act or procrastinate, believe or doubt, pray or curse, help or heal. We also choose whether we're going to succeed or whether we're going to fail. I went to school predominantly to eat my lunch, no other basic reason. But I have studied people, and I'm convinced that successful people make good choices. Whatever problems you're faced with today are because of choices you made, not what somebody else did. And the solutions to your problem is the choices you'll make in the future. Now, the question I'm asked so often is, Dr. Lou, how do you make good choices? Follow 3 simple rules. These are the same 3 rules I had for our football players and my children. They've never let me down. I never did any more. Rule number 1 is do right. Do what's right and avoid what's wrong. If you have any doubt, get out the Bible. I don't think it's right to find a teammate's wallet and watch before he lost it. Rule number 2, do everything to the very best of your ability. Not because somebody's going to applaud you or give you the word. It's just the way you live, the way you believe. And rule number 3 is show people you care. When you walk into a room, I don't want your attitude to be, hey, here I am, look at me, it's all about me. No, it's not. I want your attitude to be, there you are, how can I help you? You'll never meet anybody again the rest of your life. It doesn't need a smile, a kind word, or encouragement. When you follow these 3 rules, people will be able to trust you. They'll know you're committed to excellence. They'll know you care. And when that happens, your self-image grows. Your mental health improves. And you don't worry about what somebody might find out. And you don't worry when the phone rings. See, ladies and gentlemen, think how much better this country would be. Your football team would be. Different universities would be. Politicians would be. Banks would be. Businesses would be if they followed those 3 simple rules. They are the key to success. See you next time.
Doctor! Dr. Lou, Dr. Lou, that's Dr. Lou, Dr. Lou, Dr. Lou. The doctor is out.
Willie Millhouse here getting a hand on this one. The block punt eventually led to a field goal. West Virginia leading South Florida by 6. It's 13-7 at the break.
This is Dr. Pepper Championship Week.
Just about set to start the 3rd quarter here in Tampa. West Virginia trying to sew up a share of the Big East, leading South Florida 13-7 as we welcome you back to ESPN's College Football Primetime, served by Applebee's. Reese Davis, Craig James, Jesse Palmer, and Jen Brown with you on a night. The Mountaineers trying to get a share of the conference title, and they hope take a step closer to a BCS berth. But Geno Smith and the Mountaineers have yet to been able to generate an offensive touchdown. Craig, what do you expect to see in the second half?
I think Geno really kind of had something that he could do with his legs against that defense. The Bulls are going to have to make sure they contain and keep him in the pocket, make him throw the football. But I think both offenses woke up at the end of that 2nd quarter.
Yeah, I expect West Virginia to come here in the second half and start establishing the run on offense. Try and force a lot of those defenders from South Florida closer to the line of scrimmage so they can take advantage of big play action passing opportunities to Stedman Bailey outside on the perimeter, and maybe try and work Tavon Austin on some double moves inside.
And South Florida outgained West Virginia in the first half. South Florida defense had a couple of terrific stands, including one from their own 5-yard line after a blocked punt. Martin Kloss getting set to kick off to start the second half for the Bulls. West Virginia ranked 23rd in the latest incarnation of the BCS standings. 6-point lead, and they'll get it first as we get underway here at Raymond James Stadium. Boss puts a foot to it. It's headed toward the out-of-bounds line, and the flag will fly, and West Virginia will have excellent field position to start the second half. Let's take a look at our coaching adjustments brought to you by Home Depot.
Well, I think, Jesse, we kind of looked at it and said, look, if the Bulls can continue to limit the explosive plays and keep them in front, they got a chance in this game.
Yeah, the longest play from scrimmage so far from West Virginia has been a 20-yard scramble by Geno Smith. It's the speed on defense from USF that is really limiting West Virginia and what they're trying to do on offense right now.
After the kickoff out of bounds, Holgerson's offense will start on its own 40-yard line. Sean Alston, the bigger running back, getting the start in the second half. He's lined up with Geno Smith. B.J. Daniels has a bruised AC joint. You see them working on B.J., who appeared to throw it very well in the first half. Alston setting up for the short pass, but instead Geno goes down the middle to Tavon Austin for a good pickup on first down as we check in with Jen Brown.
Reese, well, I caught up with Dana Holgerson out of the half and asked him how he could create more explosive plays downfield. He said, Jen, it's all about blocking, and that's something that we've been poor at all season long. We need to finish blocks. We also need to get going a lot faster. We're better when we play up tempo. He said, though, look, we're a team that's used to playing from behind. We're a better second half team.
2 plays, 2 completions, though. A lot of flags coming in to the holding area.
Holding. Number 55.
That's Tyler Rader, a senior right guard from Cross Lanes, West Virginia, that is called for the hold. That'll slow down your tempo, too.
Well, we've talked about this offensive line. They've been very poor here in recent weeks. They've given up 9 sacks in their last 2 games. One reason why they've gotten really worn down. The first 11 games of the season, they were only playing 6 different bodies up front. Here we are late in the regular season, and that wear and tear starting to show. Harder to sustain blocks when you're tired.
On 1st and 20. Smith, Austin. Austin explodes past the defender. He picks up the first down. Tavon still on his feet, and he gets to the 30-yard line just outside of it of South Florida. A huge pickup on the short pass, pick up a 30.
Look at the 6-man front, and they come with 5 and drop out, and that puts a lot of pressure on open space tackling. That's a risky dial-up defensively. They didn't get to the quarterback in time.
Dana Holgerson going back to tempo.
Smith right down the middle. Brown's wide open. Brown finally tackled. The ball comes loose at the end. The beanbag came out, and South Florida believes they have it. Michael Linares does. Another big play for the South Florida defense. Sam Barrington is the man who ripped it away from Devon Brown.
Brown is fighting for extra yards. He does not go down right here, still on top of the player, and the ball is stripped out. You got to know it's a receiver. When your journey is over, get down. Those extra fought yards lots of times cost you.
The South Florida defense prides itself on playing physical. You see good fundamentals here. They know the tackle is secured, so then you start going for the football and try and rip it out. That's now the 14th fumble recovery on the season for South Florida. They only had 5 all of last year.
Turnover, thwarting the West Virginia drive. Short game by Darrell Scott as a little extracurricular between Terrence Garvin and Andreas Shields.
The Bulls defense, remember their motto, swarm and punish. When you have that many green jerseys around a football, you can do those things, and that's an excellent job of Mark Snyder's defense getting there. The defense says, we believe in our coach and that he's going to get us lined up and put us in a position to make plays. If we'll get to the ball, big plays will happen.
Daniels firing. He's got a man, and the catch is made. West Virginia wanting the ruling to be out of bounds, but Deontay Welch made the grab, and they're moving the chains.
If you're worried about that AC joint injury, worry no more. This is an NFL-type throw here. On the run, small window, downfield to the freshman Deontay Welch. B.J. Daniels, he's starting to feel it now. Over the last couple series, that confidence picking up.
B.J. continuing to raise his game. A pickup at 22.
ruling on the field of a completed pass is under review.
And it really goes back, Jesse, to the second quarter. The last 4 or 5 throws that they had. Evan Landy had the drop, and then Landy had the great catch with 3 people around him. Since that point in time, the touchdown pass to Sterling Griffin, I mean, he's just starting mentally to get more in the game.
Taking a look at this play again. It's like Welsh able to catch it. Looks like he gets 2 hands down. The question is, does he have possession of football all the way through the catch to the ground? You need indisputable video evidence to overturn this call. It was ruled a catch. It looked like a catch to me. Reese, what do you think?
That one was a catch, although I'm a little gun-shy. Craig had a conversation with the replay official at halftime, and I still wasn't satisfied with the answer. It was a touchdown in the first half. It did not appear to me that Sterling Griffin completed the catch as he went to the ground. This one, it appears that Welch did.
Ruling on the field stands. First down.
And catch this time by Welch, who, along with Davis, you were mentioning the drops, both had crucial drops in the first half, but it's a 22-yard pickup, and Skip holds his team on the move.
I like the fact that the replay officials got in and out with a quick decision to allow the momentum of this game to continue on.
Greg, as you mentioned, BJ has been hot. He's hit 9 of his last 11 since that pick 6. Daniels. Miscommunication. It'll be 2nd and 10.
I think B.J. Daniels is one of the most improved players in college football this year. Not just physically, but also as a leader, as he takes a big shot here on this last play, taking another look. Hard play action sell, 5 steps in the pocket.
It was Doug Rigg who put the shot on him.
But Craig, in years past, 2 years ago, we saw B.J. Daniels yelling at wide receivers late in the game in a loss against Cincinnati, standing by himself on the field after a loss against Rutgers.
The guys, they just called intentional grounding on Daniels. What looked like a miscommunication, the officials ruled was a throwaway, and B.J. was not outside the tackle box.
It's the right call.
It's the right call. And a borderline roughing the passer call, too. It went about a half a step away from should have pulled up on this thing.
I think he expected that slot receiver running to the corner on a smash concept.
2nd and 18. Darrell Scott's going to get it all back. The big fella rumbling up close to midfield. First down for the Bulls.
West Virginia gets caught on the inside looking. 5. Watch the inside. Look at all of this in here. They're just trapped on the inside. Bad execution on the West Virginia defense of not maintaining their responsibility.
Daniels pump fake, and he runs it. And he gets the first down and slides down inside the 35.
We're talking about B.J. Daniels developing as a leader, and let's go back to that pick 6 he threw. What did he do, Craig? You had mentioned, went right to the sidelines, picked up a football, started warming up, kept his head in the game, getting the crowd involved now. He's a much different player this year, one of the most improved in the entire country, and he's got South Florida knocking on the door.
We need your help. We need money for research. It may not save my life. It may save my children's lives. It may save someone you love.
Can you help us beat cancer? The V Foundation awards 100% of direct donations and net proceeds of events to fund cancer research. Log on to www.jimmyv.org or call 1-800-4JIMMY-V to donate. You know, so many of us and you at home have been touched by cancer, and there is Todd Fitch, the offensive coordinator for South Florida. He is an 8-year survivor of cancer. He was diagnosed with testicular cancer when he was an assistant coach at Iowa State. He's been able to defeat the disease and is cancer-free. Certainly an inspiration to so many who have to face the disease. Hand the ball to Darrell Scott. No pickup there as we check in for more on Todd Fitch with Jen Brown.
Maurice, I spoke to Todd before the game, and he said having cancer obviously put his life in perspective. But each year when the Jimmy V week comes around and he hears Jimmy V's speech that he gave, he said it really just puts his life in perspective and makes him think back to what he went through and how grateful he is to obviously have all of the opportunities that he's got and just really beating cancer. But he says, you know, Jimmy V's done a great job, the foundation, and all all the awareness in athletics. And he said he's just so proud of it, and it really just means a lot to him as this week comes around.
And certainly Todd has been an inspiration as he looks at his running back Darrell Scott, who's had a terrific night tonight, up close to 100 yards, and they are attending to Darrell on the field. He had the last carry and hasn't been able to get up.
Yeah, this is a West Virginia defense again stacking the line on first down. They've done that all night. Just like a misstep from behind, like he kicked himself maybe from.
It's a tremendous story for Darrell Scott this season when you consider a transfer from Colorado. Question whether or not he'd lost the love for the game. And he redshirted, came to USF last year, sat the season out, and worked his tail off because he felt like he had something to prove after he came out of high school, the #1 running back prospect in the nation, having a major impact in this game tonight. You just hope he's okay.
He seems to be walking okay, but that right arm is not moving.
Yeah.
See if maybe.
So often, man, it's the plays that don't look like anything really happens. When you come out of there and you've got a banged up body.
And Demetrius Murray, the junior from Beaufort, Georgia, checks in. And Scott's spot. B.J. Daniels throwing for Sterling Griffin, and Griffin is out of bounds, being covered by Keith Tandy, but there was a flag that was thrown. And B.J. Daniels wants interference. Griffin came from out of bounds, which is not legal either. Let's see which way they call it.
Defense. Number 8. The ball be placed in the spot of the foul. Automatic first down.
Interference called on Keith Tandy on the play.
And right away, Demetrius Murray has to pick up a linebacker coming in on pass protection.
Keith Tandy's a guy that USF has tried to take advantage of in the past. In this stadium 2 years ago, gave up a 49-yard completion, also gave up a 69-yard completion. B.J. Daniels testing Tandy outside here in the second half.
So first down just outside the 20. Both sides pointing at each other. West Virginia certainly jumped, but I also saw Mark Popek move.
There we go. Offside. Defense. Number 98 making contact with an offensive lineman. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Reese, that's a great shot right there of Dana Holgorsen. I think that's symbolic of this football team. He never panics. And this is a guy that has now had to learn to pay attention to defense. He used to care about offense only.
Give to Murray on 1st and 5. Picks up a couple. Helping him pay attention to that defense. He's got one of the better defensive coordinators in college football in Jeff Castile. And Castile, a little bit of a rebuilding job this year. The defensive line not quite the size that he's accustomed to at West Virginia. And backs up against the wall right now. 2nd and 3 as South Florida's driving, trying to take the lead.
They got a bump and run up top. Good area for a corner throw to the slot.
Daniels looking to the right instead. Pass is incomplete.
This would be huge right now for USF's offense if they could convert this 3rd down, stay on the field, score a touchdown, and take the lead for the first time tonight here playing at home.
And Evan Landy is over on the left side. We saw Landy make a really nice catch late in the 2nd quarter that set up a Griffin touchdown. He's the middle receiver to the left side of the field.
South Florida 4 of 10 on 3rd down tonight. They need 3.
This is where BJ can run it.
Firing on the slant into traffic and almost intercepted by Broderick Jenkins. It'll be 4th down and 3. Deontay Welch was the intended receiver.
Yeah, the freshman Welch has to continue driving hard to the inside. Quarterback's counting on him. See him hold up right there? That ball is in between a narrow window. That receiver's got to stay on his course.
Again, the youth right now at wide receiver for USF hurting them with costly drops. We've seen a couple so far tonight.
Maikon Bonani from 32 yards out. He's made his last 5 field goal attempts. Bonani puts it through, and South Florida, after causing the turnover on its own 3-yard line, they drive down and kick a field goal. make it 13-10 just when it looked as if West Virginia about to take control. The Bulls wrestled it away, and they're within 3.
ESPN's College Football Primetime. Brought to you by IBM. Let's build a smarter planet. Visit IBM.com/smarterplanet. And Farmers Insurance. Visit farmers.com to find an agent. We are insurance. We are farmers.
Stogie Castillo has been hand-rolling cigars in Ybor City and Tampa since 2005. Specialized in premium blended cigars hand-rolled by expert Cuban rollers. Nice. Celebratory Stogie will be in order either for West Virginia or South Florida tonight. Mountaineers trying to get a share of the Big East crown. South Florida trying to become bowl eligible. Go to the postseason for a 7th straight time. After the field goal, it's a 3-point game. Avon Austin on the return. Austin turns the corner. Looking for a lane. Tavon Austin is gone. .90 yards on the kickoff return for a touchdown. His second kickoff return for a score this season.
And the second non-offensive touchdown for West Virginia tonight.
It all starts with the kicker slipping and doesn't get the trajectory that he was looking for on that. And that's back-to-back 4 kickoffs. And, you know, just special teams, every phase of this game. And when you're going to get someone like Tavon Austin, who look at the ability. He splits it, gets to the outside, fakes him back in, and then gets back to the edge.
You see that block by number 34, Ismail Banks. That allowed Austin to be able to continue to dance down that sideline. He took it one side of the field to the other, and the Bulls lost contain.
It was well set up by Tavon Austin, driving upfield initially to buy some blockers time to set that edge on the outside. There's a reason Tavon Austin is second in the nation in all-purpose yards. Multifaceted, multidimensional. Showing you there on that long kickoff return touchdown, pulling momentum back now for a team trying to vie for a share of the Big East Championship and an opportunity to play in a BCS bowl game.
But I think this really is going to do one of two things. Either put a wet blanket on the Bulls, or they're going to rear their heads up and they're going to say, okay, let's go get after this. Let's compete. We're trying to get a bowl game. We got to win for our football team and our seniors. They talked about that yesterday.
What I liked about Skip Holtz, right after that touchdown, you saw him pat Bonatti on the head. Hey, that's okay. Put his headset back on. Let's start preparing here for the next drive, the most important drive. Stay in this football game.
South Florida's had so many close ones this year. They've lost 6, 4 of them determined by 1 possession. Only the Pittsburgh game was decided early. Louisville beat them by 10 in their last game the day after Thanksgiving. And Bulls have spent much of the season with their backs against the wall. See if they can get an offensive drive tonight and see what kind of momentum West Virginia takes from that kickoff return. Marcus Shaw. It's out to the 35-yard line. Special football axiom, you got to be sound in the kicking game, guys.
Special teams so critical to a team's success, and it's been a nightmare so far for USF. Block punt early in the game, allowed a field goal, almost had another punt block later in the game. Opening kickoff of second half, they kick it out of bounds and give West Virginia tremendous field possession, culminating in this final kickoff return allowed for a score.
The average starting field position for both these teams, West Virginia's been 37. For South Florida, they're 22. Special teams, a direct result.
Demetrius Murray on first down loses 1.
So Tavon Austin may be cramping up after that run, trying to get some fluids in him, needing some help standing up here.
Yeah, you know what? For the Bulls, though, B.J. Daniels has heated up for the last full quarter of play. They can get back in this game. Just go down the field and get you some points.
Daniels fires it through the hands of Evan Landy, and a late flag comes in. Maybe on Terrence Garvin. A couple of penalties on the last drive go against the Mountaineers that were costly. Garvin, the junior from Baltimore.
Pass interference. Defense. Number 24. The ball be played through the spot of the foul. Automatic first down.
It's not Garvin, but Ian Smith they got for the pass interference.
Yeah, he did touch him.
That's not Ian
I think
Smith.
they got the wrong number.
That's not Ian Smith.
Yeah, Ian Smith is there in the back. He wasn't close to anybody. They said 24 meant 28. At any rate, it was on West Virginia. And it's a 1st and 10 for the Bulls. Demetrius Murray stumbled as he took the handoff and able to power ahead for maybe 2 as we check in with Jen Brown.
Well, Reese, you guys said that USF needs to get something going here. They may have to do it without running back Darrell Scott. We saw him go down in that last offensive series. He did injure his right shoulder. He was checked out by the athletic trainers. They told me he's questionable, but they've got ice on that shoulder. He's been wincing in pain. I'd be really surprised if he goes back in the game anytime soon.
So without Scott on 2nd and 8, B.J. Daniels on the roll, and B.J.'s going to run it. B.J. protecting his own injured shoulder, slides down, and looks as if they're going to mark him just a little bit short of the first down. He needs to get to the 45 of West Virginia.
But he gave himself a chance here on 3rd down, and the smart play too. Protect himself, let someone else get that hard 1 yard for the first down.
This entire game, throws by B.J. Daniels have been contested by this West Virginia defense. Not a lot of wide open guys. These receivers are going to have to step up here in the 2nd half, make some tough catches.
Straight T, it almost looks like, behind B.J. Daniels. You don't see that often. Marcus Shaw. And Marcus stretched the football late. And flags are all over the place. So Andreas Shields mixing it up a little bit with Cook, Darwin Cook.
Look like the old wishbone from the Oklahoma Sooner days.
Offense, number 86. 15-yard penalty. 3rd down.
See if we can find the chop block on Mike McFarland. And still down is Jared Barber for the Mountaineers.
I think, though, the direction where the flag came from is on the backside, the left side of that play, the top of your screen, which we could not see right there.
Yeah, there was no flag for that mix-up between Shields and Cook. And you see McFarland walking back toward you now just in front of B.J. Daniels. That's who they called the chop block on. Tough to see from that vantage point. Barber still being attended to on the field. So the situation now, instead of the 3rd and 1, the chop block penalty, it's turned into 3rd and 16.
And again, penalties hurting USF in this game, but they've been hurting them all season long, averaging 7 penalties a game coming into tonight. Again, when you're a young team without a lot of senior leadership, there are only 9 seniors on the entire 2-deep for USF. The margin of error is extremely small, and in critical down and distances throughout games, you have to have smart play, and that's another reason why South Florida has fallen short in close contests this year, why they've lost 4 conference games by a possession or less.
You know, we were talking about this in the meeting yesterday. All the games that we all do here, if you don't have an explosive player on offense for 3rd down, or a guy on defense who can stop the 3rd down play, and lots of seniors playing in the game and for your program, you're going to have a hard time winning. And those seniors mean more than anything else because they're the ones who control the locker room. They're the ones who motivate and really have a passion that goes down to the freshmen and the sophomores to make them get it done Tuesday through Thursday.
And it's good to see Barber, the freshman from Mocksville, North Carolina, walking very gingerly on that leg, but on his feet. Walking off under his own power. Let's take another look and see if we can find that chop block. Now here it comes, right there. McFarland takes a shot at Will Clark, 98, when he was already engaged with Mark Popek. A lot of times you'll hear people refer to cut blocks, which are blocks below the waist, as chop blocks. Cut blocks are legal. Chop blocks are not. If a player is engaged up high, he can't block. A second player can't come in and block him low. It was an excellent call by the official.
Yeah, I think they were expecting there at the tight end for Popek to come off into another guy, and then he was going to cut the defensive end.
So on 3rd and 16, they'll go to the screen. It's Welch trying to pick his way, and he'll be well short of the first down. Stopped at about his own 48. Now comes the adventure for South Florida.
Punt to pin them back, so the defense has a little bit of an advantage when they come out against this Mountaineer offense.
And they should have an advantage because West Virginia hasn't found any explosive plays tonight. They forced them to drive the field just to score.
Rockhouse Khan. That's a nice punt. Brown fakes the fair catch signal, and South Florida can't get there in time to down it. And West Virginia will have it on their 20-yard line after the 52-yard punt. Ready for bowl season with the ESPN Bowl Bound app. It features video, news, analysis, latest BCS standings, weekly projections. ESPN's Bowl Bound app. It's free on iPhone and Android. All you have to do, text BOWL to 43776 to download. Very useful app that I'm sure the Mountaineer has on his phone, which is tucked beneath that coonskin cap somewhere, I'm sure. First and 10 for the Mountaineers from their own 20, holding a 20-10 lead. Geno Smith buying a little time, and now Geno's going to toss it away. Back there applying the pressure was Patrick Hampton.
Been really impressed with South Florida's defense tonight. They've had a mantra all season long. Make the opposing offense snap it again. They do not want to give up explosive plays. They want to force West Virginia to drive at least 10 plays to score points. West Virginia, they haven't registered a touchdown yet tonight.
One touchdown on defense, one on a kickoff return, and to that end, South Florida came into the game leading the nation, holding opponents to only 5 20-yard rushes all season. Geno Smith did have a 20-yard rush earlier in the game. It was a career long for him, and just the 6th the Bulls had allowed this year, as Dustin Garrison has to carry on 2nd down and bring up 3rd down and about 3.
So the secret weapon for all offenses in college football when you're not doing well is if you have a quarterback who can run, take off. And that really takes an edge away from that defense. And Geno Smith has the ability. We saw him in the 2nd quarter, one time take off and run and hurt the defense.
Watch it, Tavon Austin here in the slot, bottom of the screen.
Mountaineers just 2 of 9 on 3rd down tonight. Blitz coming. Smith took a shot. They're going in to look. Let's see what they're going to call. South Florida believes they forced another turnover. They do. Quentin Washington. Now the question is, did Washington intercept it or cause a fumble? But he went into the tie-up and he took the ball away from Stedman Bailey.
Geno Smith wanted to work inside on an underneath shallow cross to Tavon Austin. The coverage took it away, so he threw it outside to Stedman Bailey. You see the ball just kind of floating. Bailey never had possession of it. It's just kind of laying on his belly. Just a heads-up play there by Quentin Washington. He's made a couple big plays here tonight.
You know, the senior, the ball was just laying on the receiver, and he just wisely took control of it.
Marcus Shaw gets a call, and I'll tell you the other thing South Florida just did that was very smart. They got that ball snapped quickly to keep them from having another look at this.
Self-inflicted wounds have killed West Virginia in this football game. Not just this play right here, and a great heads-up play by Washington. But what about the missed field goal early in the game? What about a false start when they have the football 4th and 1 on the goal line? What about Devin Brown fumbling the football 2 possessions ago inside South Florida territory?
Well, that's a pick, by the way.
It is a
good
call. But touche, though, Jesse. I mean, USF has had a lot of self-inflicted wounds as well. So, I mean, both teams allowing the other to hang around in this football game.
And B.J. Daniels can't quite get everything lined up the way he wants it. In the 2nd and 9 play, burns a timeout with 5:43 remaining here in the 3rd quarter. Well, as we wait and see what South Florida is going to bring us on a 2nd and 9, we also wait to see what the Heisman Trophy will deliver coming up on Saturday, December 10th. The 2 guys that seem to have separated themselves from the field, Trent Richardson of Alabama and Andrew Luck of Stanford. But only Robert Griffin, Monty Ball, other guys have had tremendous seasons, but look at the Heismanology that Joe Tessitore does on our BCS Countdown show every week. It polls all of ESPN's official Heisman voters, and there is separation between Andrew Luck and Robert Griffin.
And I think that Joe Tess was explaining Sunday night on the show that those two numbers for Richardson and Luck are both large enough that they're going to be hard to overcome. One of those two guys is going to win the Heisman Trophy on those projections.
I think Monty Ball should be in the top 3. In fact, I'm shocked that he's not a lot closer than where he is.
B.J. Daniels running it. B.J. running sideways, and he doesn't get much. It'll be 3rd down and long. Now, that's where the shoulder is obviously bothering B.J. Daniels as he's protecting himself. Ordinarily, we would see him cut that ball upfield and get as much as he could.
Yeah, this guy's run for coming into this game nearly 600 yards, so his ability to run is outstanding, and that's an element that they don't have, but they'll take that away from the game so as long as he can throw it still.
Part of being a good leader is not trying to do too much and not what you're capable of, putting your team at risk with costly turnovers. Looks like man-to-man coverage here and a pressure look from West Virginia.
Daniels throws underneath. Welch trying to stay on his feet and get the first down. He does. What a tremendous play by the freshman Deontay Welch.
Deontay Welch, not the fastest player on this South Florida offense, but he's the best with the football in his hands after the catch. The yak yardage you see here almost does the splits on the slippery field. He's able to get north. That is a huge first down for South Florida.
Wildcat.
Victor Mark. And it's all fouled up. A false start.
False start. Offense. Number 70. 5-yard penalty.
There's Quintarius Eatman, the freshman from Viger High School in Pritchard, Alabama, called for the false start.
I understand the goal there of the offense. We've got a wildcat. Let's get to the line. Big play. Let's have the momentum. Let's get up there. But sometimes you get too cute and you hurt yourself.
With youth comes inconsistency. And when you have a right tackle, a freshman, those sort of things happen. They just can't happen on critical downs like that, having just converted 3rd down.
Daniel snaps it just before the play clock and throws underneath to Davis. Andre Davis to about the 16-yard line. He'll be about 7 yards short of the first down.
Jesse, you said earlier about how we've watched this guy grow up in front of us here, B.J. Daniels. I mean, like right that rare. I mean, no, here's a guy composed. He picks back up manageable yardage for 2nd down.
He put in tremendous work this past offseason. He's always worked hard since he's been here, but this offseason started bringing other players along with him, out onto the field to run routes, into the film room, taking ownership of this offense.
Daniels misfires. He had Marcus Shaw out there. Shaw would have been close to the first down. Roderick Jenkins coming on the blitz made him get rid of it.
West Virginia defensive coordinator Jeff Castile has now had enough. He's going to start dialing up pressure from the 2nd level. He cannot allow B.J. Daniels right now to take dead end, particularly with their backs to the wall.
Well, so that's this offensive line now has to really pick it up. Chaz Hine, the center, has to get his group in the right call for protection and give Daniels the time to throw and take advantage of that dialed up pressure.
Daniels, throwback. Got his man Landy for the first down at the 5-yard line.
It's a fantastic job of being patient. Look on the right side of the offensive line. Fakes the cut block. Landy then sneaks back across and does a fantastic job of catching the football.
The key for throwback plays is for the intended receiver to get lost in the mix.
Murray was leaning. Daniels did try to put his foot in the ground and get upfield this time, but he slipped. It'll be 2nd down and goal.
You know why I like that call there? Because it's allowing the left shoulder to drop and run. Running B.J. Daniels to the right allows him to protect that right sore shoulder.
Very impressed with his toughness. We said at the beginning we weren't sure how many times he was going to run the football. He's already toted it now 7 times. He's gutsy. Lots on the line in this game for USF and for B.J. Daniels, trying to get those extra 15 practices in a bowl game.
Daniels throwing the fade. Davis goes up for it, and it's incomplete. Keith Tandy on the coverage.
Yeah, trying to get it to the high point here. B.J. Daniels, he's gotten back into this game now mentally, and this is where you've got to jump, time it as best you can, and the freshman couldn't come up with it.
I think back shoulder throws aren't thrown enough in football, period, at every level. And there are, something you got to work on that takes specific timing. But there's some looks right now in the perimeter of the field Expect pressure. There's a lot of cushion outside of wide receiver.
Bottom right. It's Sterling Griffin, the receiver at the bottom right. Daniels looking his way, and I think Tandy's going to get called for interference again. Second time he's been nabbed tonight. Second time in the third quarter.
So all of that coverage at West Virginia on the top of the field, and you had the single coverage with Griffin down to the bottom. That's where the ball had to go. You had to win that matchup.
Interference. Defense. Number 8. The ball be placed at the 2-yard line. Automatic first down.
Not sure if there was some miscommunication between B.J. Daniels here. He's throwing the fade. For some reason, Sterling Griffin took a hard inside release, trying to fight his way back outside. We talked about the toughness of B.J. Daniels. What about Sterling Griffin playing with a sore ankle in this game? He's not 100% either.
Here we go. The old Tilo. Looks like a wishbone.
Chris Bright in the middle of it. Daniels going to throw out of it, and he fires it over Murray's head. He had him for 6, but he couldn't throw it accurately enough.
To throw B.J. Daniels would want to get back. He did not have his feet set on the throw. Hurried it a little bit, was drifting, and that forced the inaccuracy.
That's like the wishbone. I ran that in high school. And that right halfback, it looks like he's lead blocking on the defensive end, and he slides right into the flat. Got to make that throw.
This is a place where they really miss Darrell Scott, not having him on the field, not having that weight in the backfield.
Just about to say the same thing. Murray and Shaw, Lincoln Bright. Shaw will have it, and Shaw will get nothing and like it. 3rd and goal.
If I'm South Florida now on a crucial 3rd down, spread the field again. I'm not so sure I wouldn't let B.J. Daniels on some sort of perimeter run-pass option or zone read use his athleticism here inside the 5-yard line.
Yeah, I think that's a difference maker down here is whether or not B.J. Daniels can run the football in. Now, this West Virginia defense, they have played tight. They just had the pass interference, but their coverage, their secondary has been solid tonight.
There's a little confusion on the personnel groups for South Florida right now. They may have to use a timeout.
No doubt.
The fans here aren't too happy as the Bulls use their 2nd time out of the 3rd quarter. You have to get it right, but at the same time, we're going to be a little more organized.
And you know what? They're sitting there thinking just what you mentioned. What do you call? You don't have Darrell Scott. What do? You don't have your runner, your power guy inside the red zone. So you understand there's some conversations taking place before the call goes in.
As they get things sorted out on the sidelines, we'll sort things out in the Big 12 with the Big 12 title on the line in Bedlam. Oklahoma going into Oklahoma State, 8 o'clock Eastern time on ABC. Brandon Wheat and Landry Jones each have thrown for more than 4,000 yards this year. It was a great shootout a year ago that the Sooners won 8 straight times. In fact, the last time the Pokes won, the Hat was the head coach for Oklahoma State.
You know, Landry Jones has been very inconsistent here in recent weeks. You wonder how much this offense hurts without Ryan Broyles at wide receiver. He's made some bad decisions. You can't do that against Oklahoma State. They lead the nation in takeaways. Plus Oklahoma State, they've had an extra bye week to get ready for this game.
3rd down and goal coming for South Florida. They have spread the field. B.J. Daniels firing the fade. Sterling Griffin's way out of bounds. 4th and goal.
Receiver has to stay in bounds on that. He cannot run out of bounds because if it doesn't catch the football, he gets a chance at least at pass interference.
Well, and you can't give yourself away so early. I mean, there's Sterling Griffin didn't even attack the inside of the defender to buy himself space outside. He just kind of relegated himself to the sidelines. You have to have awareness of where you are in the field. I got to be honest, I hate that play call. Just a jump ball outside. They haven't come down with one yet tonight.
Maikon Bonani will try to salvage the drive. The 20-yard field goal attempt would bring the Bulls within 7. Bonani puts it up and through. Maybe didn't handle the series right on the doorstep after the pass interference call with the greatest of efficiency, but South Florida does get 3 out of it, and it's 20-13 right now, West Virginia and South Florida. Just a reminder, in case you happen to just be joining us, here's the situation for the BCS bid out of the Big East. West Virginia can only win it with a 3-way tie for the championship among the 3 teams you see on the screen, West Virginia, Cincinnati, and Louisville. West Virginia would be the highest ranked BCS team, one would assume, because they are now. Louisville just needs Cincinnati to lose. Cincinnati needs a win and a West Virginia loss tonight, so Butch Jones and the Bearcats are rooting for South Florida. Bulls, on the other hand, they need to win in order to become bowl eligible in what has been a season filled with close losses. They've got another close game with 1:42 remaining here in the third quarter.
It's a league full of parity, isn't it? Ever since 2005, when this league went to 8 teams, teams just seem to beat up on one another. It was only West Virginia in 2005 and Cincinnati in 2009 that went through conference play unscathed. We see this each and every year. There is tremendous parity inside the Big East.
I tell you what, the Big East needed West Virginia to stay on course and not have a couple of hiccups along the way, to have a highly ranked team, to keep the perception of the conference stronger.
Tavon Austin, who returned the last kickoff for a touchdown. This time is stopped at the 25-yard line, and with 95 seconds remaining in the third quarter, we check in with Wendy Nix. All right, Wendy and Mike Sherman out as Texas A&M prepares to leave the Big 12. West Virginia headed to the Big 12 as big number 12 completes a pass out to J.D. Woods. Now, when West Virginia will leave the Big East is still, well, that's being decided in the legal system. Both West Virginia and the Big East have filed suits. They have also filed other suits asking that the other one's lawsuit be thrown out. West Virginia wants to leave in time to play football in the Big 12 next season, and the Big East is trying to enforce a 27-month waiting period. Just saw the ineffective offense by the Mountaineers in the second half. 7 plays, 2 turnovers. Geno Smith fired it into a crowd. Sean Alston made the catch. We check in with Jen Brown.
Well, guys, if you remember, Dana Holgorsen in his meeting said Geno Smith is still learning his offense. Well, several times tonight, Holgorsen's come over to Smith on the sidelines questioning some of the decisions he's made on the field. Now, this last time he came over must have struck a chord because Geno stormed off. He paced up and down the sidelines, did not have a good look on his face, but we'll see how this message was received. Over here on the sidelines, it wasn't received well.
Competitive fires going from Geno Smith as he fires into Tavon Austin. Austin is hit by Lattimore after a short game.
Well, Dana Holgorsen is one of the youngest, brightest, most innovative offensive minds in all of college football. That's why he was hired by Oliver Luck here at West Virginia, originally to be the head coach in waiting. He's running the show now. Geno Smith is going to have a fantastic season next year. Needs another offseason under his belt. But you see that maturation, it's a process, and the only way to get better is with time to play in games.
And Smith's going to let the clock expire here in the third quarter, and West Virginia up by 7, trying to hold the lead when you come back for the fourth. Welcome back to Jimmy V Week for Cancer Research on ESPN as we continue our commitment to the V Foundation and Jim Valvano's dream of defeating cancer. West Virginia on top of South Florida as we open the fourth quarter, 20-13. The Mountaineers have the lead in search of a share of the Big East title, while the Bulls are trying to win their 6th game and a disappointing second half of the season and become bowl eligible. Third and 5 for Geno Smith. Pressure coming. The long pass toward Tavon Austin. Austin wanted a flag. None are forthcoming. Jacquez Jenkins on the coverage. It'll be 4th down.
Now, this was balanced coverage on either side of the field. 3-on-2 to the right, 3-on-2 to the left. And it's a nice job of the secondary not giving an option for Geno Smith. I thought the middle of the field pre-snap, Jesse, was where the ball was going to go.
You know, Mark Snyder loves Jacquez Jenkins. Young sophomore corner, says he's going to be his free safety next year. Very headsy player. They weren't sure if they could match up with these wide receivers in man-to-man situations tonight. So far, they've held their own weight.
Corey Smith to punt it away. Good protection. Smith rolls it toward Evan Landy, and Landy Good pickup and nifty moves to save a few yards in field position as he's knocked down at the 24. South Florida has been down this road several times this season. Close games right at the end. Against Cincinnati on October 22nd, Zach Polaris with 12 seconds remaining scored the winning touchdown. Against Rutgers, B.J. Daniels picked off in overtime. Rutgers kicked the field goal to win it by 3. This was after South Florida missed a very short field goal that would have won it in regulation. Jake Wyclaw of Miami, a 36-yard field goal as time expired. That made Miami bowl eligible. South Florida is trying to get there. Of course, the Hurricanes not going to the postseason this year as Victor Mark makes the quick catch. Miami deciding in a bit of a preemptive strike to go ahead and not take a bowl bid this year in light of the NCAA investigation.
And they extended Al Golden, right? Yep. Al's done a nice job down there.
And he has sort of ending some of the speculation about Al Golden's future on a 2nd and 1 play. Give to Murray on the inside as he picks up the first down. And much like Al Golden, Skip Holtz also a commodity that has been talked about in some circles as being a viable candidate for some of the openings around the country. South Florida working very hard to tie up Holtz and make him the head coach here in Tampa for a long time.
I think North Carolina is where a lot of folks have rumored that there would be interest, and you could understand that.
Daniels throwing into traffic is knocked down by Ian Smith. It'll be 2nd down and 10.
We've seen a lot of drop passes tonight from USF wide receivers. How many dropped interceptions have we seen tonight from West Virginia's secondary? This is a bad decision by B.J. Daniels trying to fit the corner throw in. Throws it a little bit behind Victor Mark. That's a play Ian Smith has to make.
I think the throw needs to go underneath. You know, pick up your 6 or 7 yards and go to 2nd and 3.
Instead, it's 2nd and 10. Daniels has it batted down. Julian Miller, who left the game earlier with an ankle injury. Ankle good enough to let him get up and knock it down and make it 3rd and 10 for the Bulls.
Left tackle Mark Popek getting up very gingerly here after that play. Again, he's been isolated tonight on Julian Miller, on Bruce Irvin, all the best pass rushers from West Virginia. Now a true freshman, Darrell Williams, checks in at left tackle. Let's see how Julian Miller, the sack master right now, with 4 sacks last week against Pittsburgh, he can get upfield.
Roll away from him. Move.
3rd and 10. Miller came to the inside where there was help on him. Landy catches it, and Landy gets upfield and makes the first down. We've seen some excellent runs after the catch by a couple of South Florida's receivers tonight. And Skip Holtz' dad always says, teams don't beat you throwing and catching. They beat you by running after they catch.
And Landy now has made several nice plays in this ball game of picking up his quarterback and his offense, extending a series for them. And that getting away from the left side, that was a really nice job of Darrell Williams stepping in the clutch.
Draw. Short game. Najee Good there to stop Murray.
Let's not discount how big a game this is for USF trying to reach a bowl game. They need the extra 15 practices moving forward. We've talked about how young of a team they are. That extra bowl practice allows them to develop leadership. It allows them to develop playmakers.
Daniels threw it behind Murray. It'll be 3rd and 7.
And you know, if Skip Holtz were to leave, those extra 15 days for a new coach would be really important. And so, and I know there's a lot of speculation going on, but I mean, there's a ton of movement going on with the coaching ranks right now.
I think they got South Florida for an illegal shift, so it'll be a 5-yard penalty.
You see B.J. Daniels again picking his team up. Another example of his improved leadership right now, understanding what's on the line. Critical juncture of this game in the 4th quarter.
Let me ask you this: Would you have taken that penalty? It'd make it 3rd and 7 had they not, instead of 2nd and 12.
I know offensively, I like the opportunity of having a 2nd down to go for it instead of 3rd and 7.
And now West Virginia's used its 2nd timeout of the 2nd half. 2nd and 12 coming when you come back. Find a little nightlife. Ybor City in Tampa. A saxophone being played. I'm sure donations are welcome. here at Raymond James Stadium, South Florida, looking at a 3rd and 7. West Virginia got the clock stopped, and they did indeed want. And see, Jeff Castile is furious right now with his defense as they use their 3rd and final timeout of the second half. I want to clean up what happened before. The officials indicated that the illegal procedure penalty had been accepted by West Virginia, which would have made it a 2nd and 12 during the timeout. There was a conference, and they said no, we're declining the penalty. Made it 3rd and 7, and now coming out of the timeout, West Virginia uses another timeout.
We talked about missed opportunities on special teams in this game for West Virginia with penalties, but what about on defense? They had multiple opportunities tonight to try and capitalize on takeaways. It was a big issue they had heading into tonight, not being able to generate that many, only 17 coming in. They did have the pick 6 early, but they could have had a lot more in this game.
Kind of reminiscent of last Thursday's Turkey Day Bowl game. Almost picks of my balls.
Leading to injuries in the booth. To the face.
Stuck my face in the fan to get that interception. 3rd and 7 for B.J. Daniels. Against the blitz, he fires it to the freshman Davis, who makes the grab, and the chains are moved.
Yeah, now we've seen Davis now with back-to-back big-time plays. This guy's starting to step up, the true freshman. He's got good hands. The coaching staff says he's got a vertical game to him, but right now working underneath.
You have to win your one-on-one opportunities at wide receiver, and that's the privilege you get as the boundary wide receiver. That split end position, when you're put one-on-one against the opposing team's best cornerback, you got all that space, you got to win.
At the 37 of West Virginia. They show blitz. Daniels taking a shot. He's got a man wide open for a moment until Smith came over and closed the gap. He hung it up there for a while. Deontay Welch was by himself for a moment, and Smith recovered nicely.
B.J. Daniels needed to dial up the fastball on this throw. You're going to see outside here on the wheel route. Deontay Welch, he's open right now. But that throw has to be on a line, on the back shoulder, to allow his wide receiver to make that catch.
Well, and add one more to your reel of missed opportunities there. Couldn't come down with the interception, and that's one of those chances that Ian Smith wishes he had again.
2nd down and 10. Daniels firing quickly. Welch has it inside the 20. Another 1st down for the Bulls.
Now remember, earlier in this game, Welch stopped on an in route and didn't keep going. This time he did. He stayed on the in course there, and the ball delivered on time.
Again, an example of good yards after the catch for Welch. Being strong, fighting for positive yardage. Look at the second half 1st downs in this game. It's been completely one-sided. USF has been able to sustain drives. Now knocking inside the red zone.
2 turnovers have hurt West Virginia. Daniels can't find anybody. Now BJ wants to just throw it away, and he does. It'll be 2nd down and 10.
Smart play by B.J. Daniels. In the past, his biggest, I guess the disappointment with B.J. Daniels, the Achilles heel, was that he felt like he could always make the big play. We mentioned 22 interceptions coming into this season. But this year, he's been doing a much better job taking care of the football, being smart, particularly down here in the red zone where you cannot afford an interception.
Back to the ground. Murray inside the 10. Carrying Smith with him. He has the 1st down. It's 1st and goal for USF.
I like the call here by Todd Fitch. He goes 4 wide. Single back. It opens up that West Virginia defense, and it's single blocking up front by the offensive line, and then a good job by Murray of running.
And we have a Mountaineer player down. South Florida, a little confusion again with their personnel packages, but not the right players on the field. And we'll see who that is down. That's number 24. It's Ian Smith, the senior from Miramar, Florida. Smith, who was the one who broke up that wheel route just a moment ago. And it looks as if he's cramping. You don't want to be too speculative, but they're pushing that foot back, and it appears to be a cramp.
So here Ian Smith just making a tackle, going up high. Powell's going to kind of fall back on him.
Now, remember the last time that the Bulls got down here in the red zone, they were ineffective. Right. They tried a bunch of fades and this and that, and they had nothing. First and goal here this time. They better start trying to, I'd try to pound it up in there with Murray.
Would I be out of line to say that bad shoulder and all, this is the opportunity where if B.J. Daniels gets to the corner, this is when you take one for the team, put your foot in the ground, and try to get it in?
No doubt.
To the right side, though, so that he can drop his left shoulder and protect himself and deliver a blow.
I'm not so sure they don't put the onus on this offensive line. You look up front, Jeremiah Warren at left guard, 330 pounds. Take a couple cracks at it. Again, I like the thought with the mobile quarterback in this area of the field, spreading it out. One thing they did not do on that last drive.
Don't go wishbone. Don't go three backs. Go 4 wide, spread them out, make them defend the whole field.
And by the way, the left tackle, Mark Popak, has returned. He left the game hobbling a few moments ago, was replaced by a freshman, but now they have the veteran, the guy who brings their toughness to the offensive line. And the Bulls have a first and goal as we go inside, 11.5 to play. Demetrius Murray's the running back. Murray has it. He's running on that left side, and he's pushing toward the goal line. He'll be stopped just short, second and goal.
It's the biggest side of South Florida's offensive line behind left guard Jeremiah Warren. It's where the most experience is.
They're snapping it quickly. They give it back to Murray. Murray appears to have broken the plane, but maybe not. Officials are saying no.
Again, you got 4 downs. Take your time. Make sure you got your offensive linemen set. Get up there, and even if you run the same play, let them bull themselves into the end zone. Get big and strong up front. See your left guard and your left tackle and your tight end didn't even come off on the count. And that's because you're up there hurrying and doing a herky-jerky. I don't like that.
Well, Ricky Kovacs, the fullback, has just checked in. Big personnel. Here's that T formation we've seen.
That ball was very close to the plane, but it'll be moved after they snap the ball, and the whole pile goes into the end zone, and B.J. Daniels on the sneak. They're making sure he still has the ball, and if he does, they'll signal touchdown. I believe they do. A 15-play, 76-yard drive for Skip Holtz's team, and South Florida, if Bonani can make the extra point, will pull even. They've been the dominant team in the second half. Bonani hasn't missed an extra point this season. And he still hasn't. We are tied. 10 minutes, 1 second to play. The Bulls playing for bowl eligibility. The Mountaineers playing for a share of the Big East title. 10 minutes to decide it. We're all even at 20.
ESPN's College Football Primetime is served by Applebee's new sizzling entrees. Fresh flavor never sounded so good. And in part by Chevrolet. Go to ESPN.com/Chevrolet and play virtual Saturday selections.
This is a beautiful area of the country. The Tampa Bay beaches, group of 10 barrier islands. Great setting. South Florida football program in existence since the late 90s, trying to go to a bowl game for the 7th straight year, and they have pulled even with West Virginia. So many close games have gone against Skip Holtz's team this year after a very promising start. 4-0 start, the victory at Notre Dame to open the season. The Bulls trying to finish it off by knocking West Virginia out of a share of the Big East title. Tavon Austin will not get an opportunity. This time it'll be Devon Brown. And Brown is knocked down as he crosses at 25. And we go back to the studio and Wendy Nix. All right, Wendy. A good game in the SEC Big East Challenge in Tuscaloosa between the Hoyas and the Crimson Tide. And we've got a barn burner here at Raymond James Stadium. 20-20. Geno Smith and company largely ineffective in the second half. Oh, it's picked off and going the other way. Touchdown, South Florida. It's Jacquez Jenkins. You think Jenkins had been coached up? He knew that one was coming. His second interception of the year, the sophomore from nearby St. Petersburg. And Dana Holgerson's team has seen its lead vanish. You might have heard some cheering here in Tampa. They're cheering in Cincinnati, too. The Bearcats need a West Virginia loss, and they'll have an opportunity with a victory to go to the BCS.
Number 18, 5-yard penalty. We'll replay the try.
Let's take another look at the pick six by Jenkins.
Mark Snyder said he was going to do something different tonight. He rushes 3 and dropped 8 into coverage, and there was one extra body back there Smith did not account for.
Jacquez Jenkins read that the entire way. He saw the wide receiver outside bubble back and attacked the football all the way into the end zone.
Jenkins, as Jesse mentioned earlier, a guy that Snyder believes is going to be a star here. Made a star-worthy play with that one. Had vision on it, broke on it, and took it to the house. A 24-yard interception return, 13 points off 3 Mountaineer turnovers. Geno tried to look him off. Jenkins was having none of it. The sophomore scores it, and the Bulls of Skip Holtz have taken a 27-20 lead. Florida's just taken a 27 pick six by Jacquez Jenkins.
Jacquez Jenkins doing a great job of route recognition. You'll see him circled looking outside. As soon as he sees Tavon Austin go and block, he knows the screen is coming. Geno Smith looked right. When he came back to try and find Stedman Bailey, he had never located the defender. He did not throw that football blind, but it turns out now what, the 3rd turnover in 11 offensive plays here in the second half for West Virginia. Wow.
A stunning meltdown, and what a great job by Mark Snyder, the defensive coordinator at South Florida. I told you he's familiar with Dana Holgerson. Holgerson, of course, used to be the offensive coordinator at Houston while Snyder was the head coach at Marshall. The kickoff going to Brown. And Brown, who had a costly turnover earlier in the half, is run out of bounds, and it has been a lot of miscues for the Mountaineers.
Well, the 3 that you mentioned there are something. This one here was really the turning point of the football game. As the Mountaineers were going in to score the turnover, South Florida went down, kicked the field goal. Then they battled and took it away from them. You just saw the one here that resulted in 7. So this South Florida defense, this entire football game, has kept their ball club in it to the point now they've taken the lead.
Turnovers have not been a strong suit for the Mountaineers this year. -2 in this game, now -3 for the season. -7 on the scoreboard. Pressure coming on Geno Smith. Knocked down. It'll be 2nd and 10, and South Florida's defense is feeling it. Sam Barrington making the play.
This defense is now getting comfortable with the rhythm of West Virginia, and these defensive linemen and linebackers understand that West Virginia's only success for the majority of this game has come over the middle in shallow routes. Defenders now doing a good job getting their hands up, anticipating these throws.
2nd down and 10. Smith firing deep to the outside, and a fine catch by J.B. Woods. Marking very close to the 1st down.
I go back to last year, the Marshall game. West Virginia was down big time, and Geno Smith came out and pulled them out of the fire and won that ball game. That night, I remember watching Geno Smith saying, You are never out of the game as long as Geno Smith is throwing the football. He's accurate and he's competitive.
Third down, a very short one. Mountaineers still in the shotgun. Converted just 2 times in 11 third down attempts. And they'll throw for it on third and a couple feet. Geno taking a shot. Woods is out there and he can't hold it. And clearly by taking that shot on third and 2 feet, I gotta believe they're going to go for it on fourth down. And I don't see the punting team coming.
It's a risk Dana Holgorsen at this point willing to take. And that is a giant risk. Sean Alston entering the game. We know what to expect. This should be a run.
South Florida's defensive line has had the better of this matchup in the second half. They're only half yard to go at most. Big play in this game. Smith fires, first down. Stedman Bailey making the catch out to the 40-yard line. Kayvon Webster on the stop.
This is nothing more than a toss sweep. They are so this is pitch and catch. And Bailey pushes off the corner and does a nice job of turning around expecting the ball.
But why is Kayvon Webster giving him so much cushion on 4th and inches? Press him, get up in his face, and contest the throw.
And maybe give your defensive line a chance to get to Smith. They don't get to him again. Tavon Austin catches it, but he'll actually lose yardage. Jenkins was the first guy there. He just had the pick 6. It'll be second down and long. As we head inside 8.5 minutes, here's what's at stake for both teams. Mountaineers have to have a win to get a share of the Big East and potentially a BCS berth. The Bulls looking for their 7th straight bowl appearance. Quick pass to Austin. Flag coming in the middle of the field. Austin slips a couple of tackles. It'll be 3rd and long. Penalty pending. It was thrown back and hold.
Tripping. Offense. Number 76. 15-yard penalty. First down.
It was thrown in the holding area, but they got the rare tripping call on Joe Madsen.
Mark Snyder defensively now going to contest all throws outside. That last snap, he pressed the outside wide receivers with safety help behind them.
We have not seen a big explosive play out of West Virginia. I mean, this offense came in here averaging over 6.4 yards per snap. I mean, this is a very high potent offense. Mark Snyder's defense kept everything in front of them, and most importantly, they've made tackles one-on-one in open space.
They're going to need explosive plays now. The 15-yard penalty has them 27 yards away from a first down. Try to get some of it back on second with Garrison, who gets back up to the 35-yard line. That'll leave him about 16 yards short of first down.
Remember, West Virginia has used all of their timeouts in this half. If South Florida can force a punt and get the football back, they have an opportunity to bleed a lot of clock.
Expect a 3-man rush and dropping a lot of folks.
West Virginia has been abysmal on third down tonight. 9 in coverage, only 2 rushing, so Smith has all kinds of time. He completes the pass to Bailey, but well short of the first down, and there is another flag down.
May have been a punch thrown there.
Personal foul. Hands to the face. Defense. Number 97. 15-yard penalty. Automatic. First down.
That is a costly penalty against Ryan Giddens.
Yeah, you know what? This is frustration. You know, this is a blow to the head. That's a senseless play by an athlete losing his composure. You've got a 3rd and a busload. You've got 9 in coverage. There's no way they're going to convert.
It's only a sophomore. Another example of a young player making a crucial mistake. And it's happened to this football team all season long. The lack of seniority and the lack of leadership has been a giant problem for USF.
That mistake can't be made by a player of any age.
No.
You know, you can't.
But composure. I mean, just composure.
Yeah, no question.
So West Virginia's been given an opportunity. Can they do something with it?
Terrible play by Giddens gives West Virginia a first down at the 40. Geno Smith feeling some pressure from Barrington. Geno runs away with it, and he'll pick up some good yardage and dance out of bounds at about the 32-yard line. It'll be 2nd and 2.
Such an advantage in Dana Holgerson's offense to have a quarterback that can keep plays alive. I think back to 2009 with Case Keenum, something he did an outstanding job when he was at Houston playing for Dana Holgerson. Oklahoma State didn't really have that element with Brandon Weeden, but Geno Smith here coming up with big plays with his legs.
Can't believe you would question Brandon Weeden's foot speed.
Well, Brandon may even go along with him on that.
2nd and 2 for Geno Smith. He fires to the outside and grabbed nicely by Ivan McCartney. McCartney, the guy who's tailed off a little bit in the latter stages of the season, but he makes a huge catch.
Okay, so because Geno Smith was able to run and have some effectiveness, that changed Snyder's call. He brought 4 and 5 that time, making sure he can contain and keep Smith in the pocket.
He's going to have players spying Geno Smith here at this area of the field.
West Virginia with a 1st and 10. It's been a disastrous second half for the Mountaineers with 3 turnovers. It's cost them the lead.
Comes a run.
South Florida in the neutral zone. Garrison's in the secondary. Garrison inside the 20. He was wrestled down by Jarrell Young, who was trying to strip the ball away late.
Number 94. Penalties decline. Was on the play. 1st down.
Geno Smith doing a good job right here. They're using just a silent count. And again, just another mistake up front by Juju Forte on the outside.
West Virginia's had trouble in the red zone tonight, particularly from this area. It's 1st and goal. Garrison has it. Garrison, no trouble into the end zone, and West Virginia answers. And an extra point away from another tie.
Remember, at one point on this drive, it was 2nd and 27 for West Virginia. They're able to take advantage of mistakes by USF, and the true freshman, Dustin Garrison, almost untouched going into the end zone.
Tyler Rader, Joe Madsen did a fantastic job of combo blocking coming off so that no one was free to hit the ball carrier, Garrison.
Bittencourt puts through the extra point to tie it, and to Jesse's point, if not for that personal foul penalty, the hands to the face by Ryan Giddens, the Bulls had forced a 4th down. The Mountaineers were probably going to try to go for it. There was the punch. Here's the result. Dustin Garrison hoping to lift West Virginia to a BCS game. The ACC Championship game coming your way Saturday, 8 o'clock Eastern on ESPN. Virginia Tech and Clemson. The Hokies trying to avenge their only loss. Clemson has stepped into the proverbial empty elevator shaft of late, but they can make things a lot better. They can somehow figure out a way to beat the Hokies again, stop their slide. They've lost 3 of their last 4 since starting the season 8-0. Virginia Tech trying to win its 5th ACC championship in 8 years in the league. West Virginia trying to win a share of the Big East and what the Mountaineers plan to be their final year in the Big East. They're tied with South Florida at 27. Just over 5 minutes to go. Lindsey Lamar has it. Lamar gives him a little dead leg, and now his legs are live. They're waving him down the sidelines. Lamar with a tremendous return, knocked down by Corey Smith, the kicker. And the Bulls are set up in excellent field position with the explosive play from number 5.
Special teams have been the Achilles heel for South Florida all game long. In the kicking game, allowing a long kickoff return touchdown. Now Lindsey Lamar again. Last year's Big East Special Teams Player of the Year, making an impact play, giving the football back to B.J. Daniels almost at the 40-yard line of the opposition here with about 5 minutes to go.
Lamar used that right stick to give him a little juke and turned on the speed.
Dead and then brought it alive.
It's the R1 button in PlayStation.
Yes. I don't know about that.
53 yards on the return. South Florida will start it on the ground with Demetrius Murray. For just joining us, Darryl Scott, lead back for the Bulls, left with a shoulder injury. Demetrius Murray and Marcus Shaw have been carrying the load. B.J. Daniels has thrown it 43 times tonight for more than 200 yards. And it was a defensive touchdown that gave the Bulls the lead, and then West Virginia answered to score and tied at 27.
And remember, now coming into this ball game, we didn't even know if B.J. Daniels would play. He had the bruised shoulder, the AC joint there. So, I mean, for him, he stepped up and throwing it with a lot of accuracy.
44 throws complete to Victor Mark. Mark spins down to the 35-yard line. He'll be 4 yards short of the first down.
In the second half, we've seen young wide receivers start stepping up and making plays. Andre Davis, Deontay Welsh, 2 freshmen. Here's a critical down and distance. 3rd and 4, the game on the line. There's going to be a contested throw somewhere here. Make a play.
2-down territory, though. They do not want to give this ball back. They're playing for a bold bid, for an opportunity to move and extend this season. So there's going to be 2 plays here. They're not going to punt the football back.
Well, they're close to Mike Bonani's field goal range. He has a 49-yarder. He hit it against Notre Dame earlier this season. Daniels, a rare run. BJ has the first down, and he'll slide down to protect that shoulder. A new set of downs as the clock winds down toward 3.5 to go.
Showing you intelligence and game management again. By not running out of bounds, he keeps the game clock running right now. Protecting himself, yes, but also ensuring that the final possession might be USF's here at the end of this game.
And Todd Fitch, the offensive coordinator, should not put that play right there away on this series. Keep it in his back pocket, pull it out here another couple of plays to see if West Virginia will stay outside and contain him.
B.J. Daniels will bleed the play clock all the way down to the last possible second.
On 1st and 10, Daniels run it again. Now Daniels fumbled the football. In West Virginia, I believe they have it. They do. Najee Good stripped it away from Daniels, who didn't have the thing put away, and a turnover this time against South Florida. Doug Rigg with the recovery.
Najee Good is the undisputed leader of this football team. And for him to step up and strip this football is symbolic of the fight of these Mountaineers. Ball just gets a little away from the pocket. He didn't have it high and tight and tucked over there.
B.J. Daniels all game long had been doing a good job of securing the football, not trying to do too much with that injured shoulder. You see right here, 3 points of pressure needed. You cannot try and swim a defender with the football in the same hand. And now Geno Smith, without any timeouts, can he orchestrate in a 2-minute situation, put his team in field goal range for a potential win and a potential BCS berth.
3-man look up front. South Florida going to drop back in coverage, keep everything in front of them, inviting the run.
And they get it. Dustin Garrison. Garrison who scored the touchdown. There's a flag down. South Florida perhaps got caught jumping.
Dustin Garrison. Tackle on the play, number 41, Patrick Hampton.
Jeff McConaughey is wanting to know if the result of the play is a first down.
How composed Dana Holgorsen is there on the sidelines here at this play calling.
Offside. Defense. Number 94. Penalties decline. 2nd down. Please reset the game clock to 2:54. 2:54 on the game clock.
I'm always so amazed with head coaches that can call plays on offense from the field. You just have to have a feel for the game. Guys like Steve Spurrier at South Carolina, Paul Johnson, Georgia Tech, Chip Kelly at Oregon. Dana Holgorsen, one of those guys, just has a feel for it.
Paul Johnson, another one of those. It's amazing from the field how he sees it and calls it.
Sending some heat this time. Smith fires to Woods. First down, West Virginia. Woods up across the 45 to the 46-yard line. Jacquez Jenkins on the stop.
But I think Dana's a whole lot like Paul Johnson. They're more concerned with themselves and their execution and what they're trying to accomplish. He knows the opportunities are there if his receivers run the right routes.
They'd have to get to the 28-yard line to match the season long for Tyler Bittencourt.
Clock running. No timeouts remaining for West Virginia. Garrison. A short gain on first down. And he's still going to move the pile. And finally, the whistle comes in.
You see, though, what's happening here. South Florida is showing a three-man rush, a walk-around, inviting the run, but their linebackers are quick with a foot in the ground to support against the run.
West Virginia's running game now coming to the rescue again late in games. It did against Pittsburgh last week in the backyard brawl, big win. They're running the football with success these last 2 drives.
Inside 2 minutes to go, a 2nd and 6.
But look at that soft bubble right there. 3-man, look at the linebackers.
It's 2 bubbles, yeah.
It's 2 bubbles.
Garrison has it. Garrison has the first down. He's inside the 45. Clock will stop long enough to move the chains with 1:36 to go.
You got to change it up if you're Mark Snyder now. Put at least one more body up front. Make it an even look for defensive linemen, because right now West Virginia carving away into those big bubble looks we keep seeing. They're going to line up with more bubbles again right here.
They're going to call a run.
Need 12 to 14 more yards to give Tyler Bittencourt a chance based on his career long of 45 yards. Geno Smith. Plenty of time, and now he runs out, and Smith takes a sack. Clock still running. Holgorsen wanting some urgency.
Critical mistake by Geno Smith. He knows better than that to take a sack on this play. The reason he takes the sack, it's a coverage sack. Fantastic coverage downfield. Quentin Washington on blanket outside.
Okay, now guys, clock still running. 2nd and 19. West Virginia trying desperately to get into field goal range. Only 2 rushing. A lot of guys in coverage. Clock still running. Smith fires complete. Bailey makes the catch, but the clock is going to continue to run. Didn't get out of bounds. 3rd down coming.
Now they can rush 3 and drop again, but they've got to put pressure on this quarterback. Geno Smith, you can't cover a receiver that long.
3rd and 10. Pressure almost intercepted. It'll be 4th down with 13 seconds to go. There's a flag down on the play on the near side. The 22-yard line of the Bulls. West Virginia had a player eavesdropping. He applauded. This could be a costly penalty against the Bulls. Jeff McConaughey, the referee in the white hat, sorting it out with his crew. 13 seconds to go. West Virginia trying to get into field goal range. Perhaps kick a field goal that would give them a share of the Big East title and keep their hopes of making a BCS game alive. That's Tyler Bittencourt, the kicker. He's been a clutch kicker. He's got tremendous technique. Maybe not the biggest leg in the world, but a couple of game-winning field goals in his career.
Geno Smith telling his offense right now, if they get another crack at this, get ready for a clock it situation. If they can muster up another completion to provide an opportunity for a game-winning field goal.
2009, Bittencourt made one as time expired to beat Pittsburgh.
Legal substitution, defense. 5-yard penalty. We paid it down.
Well, I tell you what, that's really for Skip Holtz. He's sitting there thinking, it could have been, we're all thinking pass interference, something bigger than that.
Well, I saw the guy running off the field. I didn't see the flag respond initially. It appeared that he got close to the sideline. He was sprinting off.
Well, right now,
with the penalty,
they need to be concerned about getting to the line of scrimmage and getting ready for this next snap. Call time and get organized.
Use their final timeout.
Absolutely. The right call there.
They're going to. It looks as if there's going to be a review. All 22. We're going to see. You take a look at all 22 players on the field. Check the substitution pattern. Okay, here's the guy just outside the 35-yard line. And it's Mike June. It's Mike June trying to run off the field, number 35. You saw him in the lower right part of your screen. And sometimes officials, if you're close to the sideline and sprinting off, they'll give you a little latitude there. But he clearly was still on the field, it appeared to me, when the ball was snapped.
Geno Smith has 13 seconds here. They have no timeouts, and it's going to be a 3rd down. So they've got to get in there to that 25-yard line area. So that's the play they're looking for. They've been going outside. They have not thrown really anything to the middle of the field.
There's still enough time, if nothing's open downfield, for Geno Smith to take off running. Of course, if this play stands, and he needs to just get 5 yards before trying to clock it.
Well, he's got to, yeah, he'll have to get down.
Yeah.
Get down after getting the first down. Clock will stop to move the chains.
Yep.
Then you would have the opportunity to clock it and kick the field goal.
So a 5-second play, and I think clearly you can see it there. Coming off at the 37-yard line, player was not off the field. But that's the deal. You get a quick play for a first down. Clock stops, get up there and clock it.
We've seen a lot of personnel problems for South Florida tonight, having issues getting the right personnel on offense, having to burn timeouts because of that. Potentially a costly personnel problem here now on defense late in this game as well. And that's a reflection of the coaching staff. They have to be dialed in.
And a reflection of the season. You know, that's the difference overall in the season. Just here and there, the little plays, the differences, the 3 really close losses that South Florida's had to endure.
South Florida lost in the waning seconds against Cincinnati. They lost in overtime against Rutgers. Lost on the final play on a field goal against Miami. And now West Virginia trying to break the Bulls' hearts one more time as this play is still under review. A chance for us to remind you about the Conference USA Championship game. Southern Mississippi and Larry Fedora, another hot coaching commodity for the Golden Eagles, taking on Houston and its own hot coaching commodity, Kevin Sumlin, and Case Keenum. If the Cougars can win this game and remain perfect, they will secure a spot in a BCS Bowl. Most believe that will be the Sugar Bowl. Watch BCS Countdown on Sunday night, 8:15 Eastern Time on ESPN to make sure. West Virginia hoping that it will get a spot in a BCS game as champions of the Big East, but they have to win this game tonight. Right now they're tied with South Florida as the officials are reviewing the penalty called against USF. Here comes Jeff McConaughey with the call.
After further review, the 11th player was leaving the field. That's a legal play. Therefore, there is no substitution foul. The result of the play was an incomplete pass. The ball he plays at the 42-yard line. 4th down.
Woo, what a call.
So the guys upstairs do a good job and get it right, the same as the 11th player. Leaving the, I have to go back and look again. Did they play that play with 10 guys? Is that what they're saying?
Yeah. Well, a lot of folks interested in this game. You think Butch Jones and Cincinnati are watching this?
I think so, but now let's reset the situation here, guys. Now, because there was no penalty, it's 4th down rather than 3rd. They're at the 42-yard line. Got to get the first down. Also need to get inside the 35 to give Bittencourt a chance. Geno Smith firing. He's got his man, Stedman Bailey. 7 seconds to go. They'll have to clock it quickly. West Virginia in a mess. They get it clocked.
Chemistry so important between a quarterback and wide receiver. When you have to have a play, you go to the guy you trust the most. Geno Smith and Stedman Bailey have been playing football together for the last 6 years, dating back to Miramar High School. Are you kidding me?
What a grab on 4th down by Bailey, and now Bittencourt trying for his 3rd game-winning field goal in his career. It'll be from 33 yards out, and here's a flag.
Oh.
Illegal substitution. Defense. 5-yard penalty.
Inexcusable.
3-play first down.
It's inexcusable.
Well, I'll tell you what that does. That really takes away from the ability for this ball to hook and be wide left or right. And the mistakes again costing USF here late in this game, throughout the game.
Now from 28 yards, Bittencourt trying to give West Virginia a share of the Big East title.
Skip Holtz is going to ice him.
And Holtz uses his final timeout.
Timeout.
Well, you know what? I had said, you know, this was one of those deals to where throwing back to the middle of the field, Geno Smith, and you saw the move on the outside. Bailey made it look like he was going to be over there. They had it really bunched up on the sidelines. And what a throw back to the middle of the field to Bailey.
I remember Tyler Bittencourt earlier in this game in the first quarter had an attempt from 38 yards that hit the right upright. This one a much shorter attempt. Ball is on the 11-yard line. The holder will put the ball down at the 18, making it a 28-yard attempt. He is on the left hash.
2 weeks in a row, boys, with walk-off kicks.
Texas had one. Let's see if West Virginia does. Bittenkurt for the game, and it is good. Stedman Bailey getting some congratulations, and boy, does he deserve it. Cincinnati heartbroken as West Virginia stays alive for a BCS berth. The Mountaineers, with a Bearcat win over UConn on Saturday, will almost certainly go to a BCS game as the highest ranked team in the BCS from the Big East.
Give West Virginia a lot of credit. Time and time again this season, they've found a way to come from behind, fight through adversity, and find a win. A tremendous game-ending drive engineered by Geno Smith. A big-time catch by Stedman Bailey, setting up this game-winning field goal by Tyler Bittencourt.
And for South Florida, the third time this season they lose a game on the final play, and that doesn't include Zach Collaros scoring a touchdown with about 12 seconds to go to win. It's been that kind of year for South Florida, and it's a winning night for Geno Smith and the Mountaineers as we check in with Jen Brown, who has Dana Holgerson with her.
Thanks, Reese. Coach, you seem so calm over there on the sidelines, but what was going through your head as your offense drive the field there and made that game-winning field goal?
Yeah, there's really no time to think, you know, and I'm just proud of these guys. This is the third week in a row that it's came down to the last minute, and well, what this team's figured out is just to find a way to win. You know, for 3 weeks in a row, they've just found a way to win.
Well, finding a way to win tonight gives you a share of the Big East title. You said that was your goal coming into this season as your first head coaching role. What does this win mean?
It means a lot to the kids. It means a lot.
Get a little bat there.
Yeah, it's always fun. That's the first one of those, but.
Mine too.
It was our goal, you know, and the guys just kept playing. They kept playing the whole game, and I'm proud of them.
You're going to get 15 extra days with your team to set up what could possibly be for a BCS Bowl series, depending on the Saturday game with UConn and Cincinnati. What do you need to work on in those 15 days to get ready for that?
Well, offensively, we need to work on a lot, you know, and which we will, you know, and this is still relatively early in the process when it comes to this type of offense for these type of kids. But we'll keep working at it. There's a lot of things that we can work on, which we will.
All right, go enjoy yourself. Enjoy the win. Thanks, Coach. Reese?
All right, Jen. So Dana Holgerson now waits and hopes that Cincinnati can beat UConn. In that case, they would make their way to the BCS almost certainly. Our Wrangler 5-star player of the game is Dustin Garrison. Garrison only 88 yards rushing on the night, but 54 of those and a touchdown came on the last 2 drives. The game-tying touchdown drive and then the drive that led to the game-winning field goal. Dustin Garrison, our Wrangler 5-star player of the game. If indeed that is West Virginia's final game in the Big East, and that's still to be settled in the legal system, what a thriller it was for Geno Smith and the Mountaineers, 30-27 over South Florida. That's our final. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For Craig James, Jesse Palmer, Jen Brown, and our entire fabulous crew, both in the truck and on the field, who've done such a wonderful job all season long, we're saying good night from Tampa, Florida. West Virginia gets a share of the Big East, 30-27. SportsCenter coming your way now.